And we're live.
Okay.
God, what are you doing? What did
Oh,
you
don't worry
do?
about it. Oh, hold on.
I'm so fucking scared. What did you do?
Hold on. 1 sec. I got.
It's not
Gotta
it's
log
not
in
like I
somewhere.
didn't have enough wacky nonsense happening this weekend. What are you adding to it?
Okay. Are we live? We good?
Yeah, they can hear.
Oh my god. They know where I am. They know who I am. Okay. Well, here we go. It's time.
Oreos absolutely count as a peace offering cookie.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I hate you. I hate you.
Live from New York. It's So A Night Live.
I know.
Dude. Good.
It
Do
is
it.
so a. That's great.
Dude, I could have.
That's so dumb.
Oh, dude.
No.
I feel so good. I feel like I'm in my prime now. I'm truly an anime boy.
No.
Just like I've always dreamed. Oh my god. I couldn't get exactly what I wanted to get because it wouldn't have come in time for Halloween. So I was like, okay, well, what do I got around here?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
What the heck?
It's me. Soy, do you not recognize you're a person
Do you
who
not
is in the
recognize
screen?
me by my headband?
Do you not recognize me by my signature Rimuru headband? Oh,
No.
wait,
Ah,
hold on.
yes.
It's not. That's the thing we have Reamer. I didn't know. Sorry.
Hold on. I can
Looks
do
like
this.
the leaf villages.
I can do this.
Ah, yes. The Konoha
Yes.
headband of the traditional
Don't worry about
tempest
it. I got this.
of the village hidden
Of the
in the
got
tempest.
I got this.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
The
Don't you
village
worry
hidden
your
in the
pretty stripe ahead.
slime.
The village hidden in the
Fuck.
storm.
Don't you
Yeah,
worry
sorry,
about
I
it.
did not think we were doing that this week. For some reason.
We had a light novel panel yesterday that we did.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
There we
You know
go.
what? That's what I got confused
But
with.
that's not a streaming thing.
Perfect. Now we
I thought
have.
for some reason that
we
was
weren't even
redeemed.
weren't even reading slime. We read like the first chapter of Spider.
Oh, that's right.
And
I don't know why.
we
I got
spun
that
a random wheel. It was me and Moon and
Oh, wow.
Calvin just spinning the wheel and
Hey,
being
Naruto
dumb.
headband for. You could.
I don't know how you spun the well. That's impressive, actually.
See, I fixed it by adding our clan symbol of our leader.
That ring girl had
Nice.
it coming.
I don't know who the
yes,
ring girl
yes.
is, but
I had to make her dizzy.
oh, you're talking about Sadako.
Yeah, give me a second while I get.
I will.
Yeah,
I will
forgot
find
how to
out.
do it.
We will do a proper AWA recap at a later date. So if you guys want
Yes.
to ask about AWA, that's fine. But we're not doing AWA stuff tonight.
Also, happy Halloween to you guys.
Yeah.
Halloween, everybody.
Happy Candy Day.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Glorious, glorious candy.
It's true.
Also, everybody make sure to go buy candy tomorrow. It's the best day to do shopping for candy.
That's true.
It's all cheap.
Just like the end of
Question: If you
Valentine's
get it
Day.
on the weekend, like say you got candy on Saturday, is that before Halloween candy or is it still considered Halloween candy?
That's a good question.
I have a friend who fiercely debates that it's still because it's still the weekend for Halloween.
If you get it the day before Halloween,
2 days
before.
before. It's like Saturday.
it's Halloween weekend. I mean, technically, all month long, it's considered Halloween candy.
I guess.
It's true.
But would you? I guess I'll say like, well, it's before Halloween candy, if anything.
Candy given to you during Spooktober is Halloween candy.
Ah, there you go. Let's see, get this plugged in.
And
do have some
candy
Halloween
and
candy
candy
over there. I
given
will
to
keep
you.
it.
Candy given to you 2 days after Halloween is still Halloween candy.
That's true.
It's just
Alright.
leftover
Also, isn't
Halloween
obvious
candy.
that I may or may not have just taken this out of the bag and I forgot that you need to take care of wigs.
All right, hang on. I'm going to switch
Sir,
over to
what it
laptop real quick.
actually looks like. You look like a unicorn.
A unicorn?
Like a really janky
Oh.
Leaf Ninja unicorn.
Oh, dude. Well, one of the people I was dating, or not dating, but talking to on Bumble, they were like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, I do like voice acting stuff for this show." And I put a picture of like the entire slime crew, and I was like, "I voiced the dude on the far left," and she was like, "Oh, that's a cool unicorn guy," and I was like, "Oh, that's good. I am the unicorn man." So that's it. He's not Soe. He's not a demon mage. He is a unicorn mage.
Unicorn Man.
Dude, wigs. I have to give a lot of props to people who like wear wigs at like cons and shit. I don't know how people walk around with this all the time. This is fucking crazy.
EC Voice says, well, he's my voice acting Unicorn Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you have to pay for that.
My horn's not even right on like the right way.
Hard to find otakus on Bumble.
It is kind of true. It depends on where you are, but it's all good. If you like anime, that's cool. If you don't like anime, that's also cool.
So
But we probably won't have that much to talk about.
Anime!
Anime. I do love anime. God. At least this isn't my other blue wig. I have one that's like
By
that
the way,
I wore
if you
because I
wanna
was
see-
Navi one time.
If you want to see some more people wearing beautiful wigs, check out our
don't
Discord.
watch the stream.
Check out our Discord.
Yep.
Calvin, aka Ranga, wearing the Rimuru wig, and then later at the hotel, he took off the wig and we placed it on the Rimuru plush right here, so Rimuru got to put his wig back on.
Rimuru plush.
You get some mates rates. That's
Yes.
so dumb.
You know, I actually could get a lot of mileage out of this wig. There is a surprising number of people out there in anime who wear blue hair, or who have blue hair.
Calvin
So I just
has,
gotta actually take care of it.
Calvin has a wig that is very similar in color to that.
We probably bought it from the same place.
You got it at the dealer hall. It might be the same vendor. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
The only thing that I didn't have was a wig stand, so I was like, "Oh, good. I'm supposed to, take care of the wig."
So here's the thing.
But it works.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So every time that you saw Moon as dressed as Jesus, he was absolutely shit faced.
Of course.
100%.
Jesus, take the
We
wheel.
went out to Putt Putt, and we went to play at Putt Shack. I'm gonna talk about the non-con stuff right now, guys. I'm gonna get the non-con stuff out of the way. We went to Putt Putt, and we played at the Putt Shack, and it was great. We had a lot of fun. The food there was fucking fantastic. I had like these little Korean barbecue like little wrap things. They were so fucking delicious. We got a bunch.
That does sound pretty.
We ended up
delicious.
sharing food around, a lot of us, because we were all trying a little bit of everybody's stuff. That's how the izakaya thing went as well. We were all passing food around. It was fucking delicious. Anyway.
Welcome back.
So there was a lot of drinking around the table. because
Good.
because we had to wait for like 20-30 minutes for our time to play putt-putt.
Yes, sir.
So we were drinking, eating food, just having a good time. And
I
then
don't hear anything. Why can I not hear?
And then we got upstairs to play on our course. And of course, Moon
There.
is Moon at this point is 3 sheets to the wind after going around playing putt-putt.
Good.
And he's like blessing people as they're walking by. He was like blessing and forgiving them, and then like at the same time he is cursing out his golf ball. It is the best thing. Dude, just random ass bystanders had a great time watching him. Me, I'm just sitting here like, I wish I could pretend I didn't know this person, but I'm
Nope, you can't.
unfortunately in
He's
his
yours.
party. He's our problem. And,
Yep.
And I'm supposed to be con dad, but I'm like, fuck this.
Nope.
I ordered a margarita and I'm not pretending like I have responsibilities at this point in time.
Irresponsible con dad.
Well, we
go.
All right, here's the thing. I have to be con dad when we're at the con. Outside of the con, fuck that shit.
It's true.
Yeah. So we weren't at the con.
Sorry.
I didn't have to be responsible for Jack.
We don't know a guy named Jack though.
But yeah, Moon was not sober 3 of the 4 days.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Good.
And a lot of those times we were outside of the con. And Moon was not sober.
Oh my god,
So
dude.
safe to say, probably nursing that headache or whatever.
No, he's
For the
still
hangover?
drinking. No, he's still drinking.
Oh.
That's why he's not
Oh, is
here.
he-
There's a Halloween
Okay,
party at
fair.
his house. He was like, I'll be the first to read because I'm still drinking and I'll just read and leave. And I'm like, just don't show up, bro. Just I've had
Nah.
drunk moon for the last 3 days. Don't show up. No.
I don't need drunk. Yeah, I don't need any more of the drunken moon.
We don't need
Let me see.
God damn it.
I think I'm pretty
yes.
spot on. Don't talk to me or my small son ever again. I think I'm pretty spot on.
Yes. Quite.
Oh my goodness.
I love Great Sage. I'm just a disembodied voice. Great Sage,
Yep.
you know, not a lot to do there. I could just be me, you know.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is,
Not a
they
lot
don't
I
have a
have to worry
corporeal
about.
form.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you can do whatever you want. You can just be you. It's great. It's easy.
I love it. They're like, yes, Shim, that's incredible. Dollar store cosplays.
This is not even dollar store. This is like 50-cent cosplay.
50 cent.
Mhm. I still
Yeah,
think
like,
I made
have
it
it
work.
so you can
Honestly,
barely see
if
my
I actually
eyes.
like, did the wig up and like actually got the horns like I wanted to, because I was like, okay, let's buy some horns. All right, arriving November 14th. Perfect. It'll come in just in time.
Yesterday,
So-
yesterday we ate food in the manner that I imagine is what it's like to eat in Tempest.
Mhm.
We went to Fogo de Chao.
Oh, dude. Fogo de Chao is so fucking good.
We went to
That's
Fogo
so
de
fucking
Chao.
good,
Keep
bro.
in mind, this is
Mhm.
one person that was like, I'm gonna pay for all of you. Let's go to Fogo de Chao, and we were like,
They paid for all of you?
yes, they paid for the.
Holy
it was
shit.
Them and three
Free
of us. And they were
Fogo de
like,
Chao.
Hey Ari, evening. I think the kids
Oh my
finally
God.
stopped ringing my
Hello.
doorbell. Oh, you made it
Hello.
back home. Good. I'm glad.
That's good.
Ding 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 ding.
It's so funny to think that I saw her last night. Like
Oh.
24
Oh,
hours
she was in
ago.
person? That's cool.
24 hours ago, I saw Ari. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
She and Dave were both there. Yeah.
Dave.
We were just talking about the I was talking a little bit about drunk Jesus at Putt Putt
Yes.
and him yelling obscenities at a golf ball.
Good. Was he like, "Aw, man, I love you"?
Nah, dude, it would
I
have
hope
been
that you have a great life.
I really wish he had been like Brendan Fraser in Bedazzled when he was the basketball player. Damn the devil to hell. Like just like that.
Damn the
While he was
devil
drunk
to
Jesus.
hell.
Or even better, if he had been anything like Happy Gilmore. Go in your home! Are you too good for your home? You know, that would have been hilarious. No, he's just shit, fuck, damn it. I'm like, there are
It still
small
works.
children
Jesus
over
would
there.
have said the same thing.
I'm like, there are small
okay.
children over there, Jesus. You know.
Dude, Jesus would have said the
Him-
same thing. It's fine. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he was 3 seats to the win, buddy. It was great.
Why?
We went to
That's
Fogo de
great.
Why is-
Chao. We went to Fogo de Chao, and Edgar ordered he ordered Wagyu steak.
Did you guys like?
Wagyu-
Oh wow! So you
Wagyu
guys didn't get the
ribeye.
experience?
Oh no, we got
Fuck.
the other experience too, but he also ordered
okay.
Wagyu ribeye because that was the
Holy
final
shit.
thing that we got.
Oh, really? I can't buy it off the app. Well,
Okay,
that's
so here's the thing. He ordered
Excuse me a
Wagyu
second.
ribeye, and it got brought out to us on one of those heated rock salt things that it's cooking
Jesus
on the
Christ,
rock salt,
dude.
and I'm just like, this is what it's. Looking back at it, I'm like,
You guys
holy
ate
shit!
like kings.
I'm like, holy
and
shit!
queens.
That's what it's like to eat in Tempest. Like just like on a massive scale, but basically that's what it's like to eat in Tempest.
That's
Like
fucking nuts,
they
dude.
cut up monster food and
Yeah.
cooked it like that, and I'm just like, God fucking damn! Blessed in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy bitch ass motherfucker! That was a fucking good putt,
true.
you shithead! Blessed in the name of the Father, the Son, and bitch ass motherfucker! That was a fucking good ass putt, you shithead! Like Moon at putt putt. Like,
So great.
Ish.
I just imagine. What would Jesus do? He'd get fucked up.
What would
Me and
Jesus
David are
do?
doing
Yes, sir.
shots of my blood over here.
What would Jesus do? He'd have like
Yes,
4 or
sir.
5 more drinks. Yeah.
He'd take
he
shots
would.
of his own blood.
You know what?
He gets
People are
free
requesting
shots.
Drunk Jesus. I'm gonna just text him. People are the streamers requesting Drunk Jesus as much
Oh,
as
God.
I want this. As
He has
much
to
as
read at least one.
No,
he gets one, then he has to go.
No, he cannot read. No.
Oh, he's not reading. Okay,
He is
sorry.
not allowed
He might
to
puke.
read. He
That's
is
fair,
not
that's
allowed
fair.
to read. He is not allowed to read the fucking book. No.
Maybe I should should have put alcohol in this thing too.
We
That would've
did
been
get to
good.
see Miki. We did get to meet Miki.
Hmm.
So
How's that?
finally, I've been in town with them a bunch, but we've never actually got to meet up. I never got to meet. Well, I mean, I've met Miki before and I've met Devin before, but like we got to meet again. But like it's not like Devin's run a con that I haven't been a guest at it before, and some shit. But like at the same time,
Did it order it or did it not? I thought it did.
Did it order what?
The book.
I don't know.
Finally it did. It said it was gonna be auto delivered and thought it ordered it. All right.
Did you order the physical copy of like the light novel or something?
No, Kindle.
Oh,
Like I clicked
it
on
should
like
just
the
be
add
like
to
a
cart. It's like
one-click
okay,
thing. So
yeah. So I don't know why. Why would
okay, hold on.
you should
one
refresh the
second.
page or something.
purchase this? I mean, if it shows
Con
up
was
twice,
nice,
I can
glad to be
refresh
home.
it.
One of
So.
our dogs got sick while we were at con and scared our sitter.
Mm.
Well, we realized I'm gonna have to drop Toby off over at Jason's, so I got to give him to my brother.
Hmm.
On our way there, I can only
Hope he feels
stall the
better.
panel for so long, so don't be late. No, we're good, bro. The drive down to Atlanta was perfectly fine until I got to Atlanta. 3 car accidents, delaying.
Jesus
traffic,
Christ.
delaying traffic. Yeah, there were 3
There
accidents
we
that
go.
delayed me by 45 minutes, and the last accident was literally at the turn onto the road that I had to get onto to turn into AWA.
Of
To get
course.
to the Cobb Galleria. So it's literally right where the it's literally right at the light where the off ramp is onto the road. Yeah.
Mhm.
I should probably call Moon and instead of like texting, because I'm like, is he gonna be able to read a text at this point? How fucked up is
Maybe.
he? Will he be able
Have
to
him read
hear
a
phone
little
number?
bit at the very beginning, and that's it.
No.
Yeah.
He's not reading the fucking book. How many times do I have to say this? He's not going to
4.
read the
At least
goddamn
5.
book.
I didn't say the book. I just said something.
I don't even think he can read the fucking text. There you go. Hey.
Yeah.
So a forger can't hurt you.
So a forger can't hurt you. Yeah.
Instead of Anna,
weekend.
instead of
It's really
being
good.
trained by One Punch Man, he's trained by Soe.
Okay, yeah. Moon ain't showing up, guys. He ain't answering. He ain't answering at all. So,
Yeah, he's probably tired.
tired.
And passed out.
No.
Yes.
Tired and intoxicated.
No.
Oh.
No.
Both.
He is drinking and partying. He is not. There is a party happening at his house. He's drinking. He is getting crunk. No, that's not what's happening. He's drunk. He is piss drunk.
Yes. He's drunk.
The street system in Atlanta definitely is an accident. It's one giant accident. All right. But we were very, very northeast Atlanta. We weren't in Atlanta proper, so much better than actually being in Atlanta. We were actually in Marietta, so much nicer portion of actual Atlanta.
Okay.
Fogo de Chao was
That's
fucking delicious. We
Yeah.
went to their buffet.
We have one close here.
We went to their buffet and had like their. We went to the buffet part and got like the veggies and the cheeses and the fruit. And then
See, that's the trap. You got to make sure you don't fill up that much on there. You got to make sure you get your fill.
We got the small. I got small amounts of the stuff that I wanted, and then that I stayed away from bread.
I
stayed away from bread.
You don't eat bread.
I stayed away.
That is the trap.
I stayed away from bread. I stayed away from rice. I basically stayed away from anything that can be filling. And then,
yes, if you get carbs, you will not eat that much, and you will not get your money's worth.
Yeah. And then
that was a bad idea.
And then I flipped the circle over, and boy oh boy, the meat sure came.
Yes, they come like crazy, dude.
The meat came, and so did
but,
I.
you know, yes. Dude, my first time. Did you guys have the grilled pineapple?
I I don't think so. I don't think any of that came
I
over.
know what
We
you're
got the
talking
garlic.
about. Now I'm
We
on
got
the
the
Oh,
we
dude,
got
because they have different times they have different stuff every time you order from there, but they have grilled pineapple that's so fucking good.
we got the garlic. We had like the garlic steak and Parmesan stuff, and they had
Yeah,
caramelized
Parmesan
fucking.
pork.
They had fucking caramelized banana that they brought over and shit.
That's always good. They give you the polenta and all that stuff too. The caramelized banana is fucking
Needed me
good.
for like 90% of what we ate was just pure fucking protein. So I gotta
Good.
tell you,
That's what you should be doing.
I gotta tell you, we were pooping for the next like 3 hours, like pooping, farting. It was just a good old time.
Pooping, farting. I understand.
And then we watched. Let's see. Moon's friend Edgar didn't know who Bill Murray was, so we showed him Ghostbusters.
He just didn't know who the man was.
He did not know who the man was. Had never seen any of those
Oh.
movies. We listed
Really?
off.
You didn't even watch
we
like
list-
Osmosis Jones or anything?
We listed off all of Bill Murray's movies. Never seen any of them. So we watched that. We also watched The Princess
I'm
Bride
probably not that
because I've
far
never
off.
seen The Princess Bride, and I'm like that's a tragedy that should not stand. And then we watched Gate for a bit.
Oh, the anime?
Yeah, the anime.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's a good
I haven't
one.
seen that. I heard it's pretty cool.
Oh, it is. It's really good.
Yeah. It's
If you modern military versus the Roman Empire, but isekai.
Oh.
The JSDF versus like an isekai Roman Imperial times.
imagine any anime where you see like the medieval times and see how their reaction to a damn helicopter, an attack chopper.
Oh god. Well,
Imagine
that'd be
a
fucked.
fortress. Imagine a fortress town that's being invaded by bandits. Suddenly gets saved by people in attack helicopters.
like
Right.
whelp.
Imagine the princess and her envoy like having to see their modern carriages and be like, "This would have took us days." How fast it was.
Now for the downside. Okay, hang on 1 second. I gotta grab a special guest.
Because there's always a
He's
downside.
been through a lot. I gotta grab a special guest.
Imagine the a demonstration of modern military to a bunch of, I don't want to say bumpkins, but because it's like nobles, medieval nobles.
They would be obliterated. Good.
Yeah. Although to be fair, they do nerf the modern military a little bit. I don't think they give them many fully automatic rifles.
Oh.
Because I think they say that'd be overkill. They do. They are there. Definitely.
Wasn't. Okay.
They do 100% give them automatic rifles, but I think for the most part it's like semi-automatic to some extent. But they are there.
Game.
It's the Toby. It's the Tobes.
It is.
It's the Tobster.
He has been through a lot.
Toby has been through the ringer.
Yep.
Now I said Tobster, and now I want to see a shirt with Toby coming out of a toaster. Like he has two paws. I'm like,
he has redeemed Toby pets.
I guess since I am dressed for it, have you seen the Tales of Jedi that came out recently on Disney Plus? No. It doesn't.
Nope.
It's not that much, but it is a treat for old
That's good.
old
I haven't
fans.
watched anything Star Wars recently, so I know that Andor recently came out. My dad was saying that Andor was pretty fun. So
I have not watched Andor yet, though, to be fair. But I've been kind of trying to catch up on some other stuff. I haven't even finished She-Hulk yet, to be honest.
I haven't finished a lot.
I watched
stuff.
episode.
There's so much on my list.
I watched episode 4 of that, and I cringed.
Here is my guest.
Hey!
I told Buff.
Hey, buddy.
He had a rough weekend.
Oh, was he missing you?
He has severe separation anxiety.
Oh.
And
well, it looks like he's happy that you're home right now.
Well, it's not because of me.
Oh.
It's not solely because of me, but that is part of it. Robert works double shift on the weekends. So for the last 2 days, no one was here.
Oh, so he was
here
completely alone.
He was here for most of that time by himself. I mean, Robert gets home, he takes him out, walks him, everything. But Robert goes right to sleep because he's got to get up in a few hours and go right back to work.
Mm-hmm.
Dude gives him like a little bit of loving, lets him go potty, and then that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much. I gotta crash because
the mandatory stuff.
Yeah, and so Toby's here in the house by himself with all the lights and everything turned off, and he's crying and he's howling, and because I'm usually here, so I'm not here. Yeah, he had it kind of rough over the last 2 days. And our neighbor, one of our neighbors, who's an absolute Karen, complained about him howling and everything, even though we pre-warned everybody about this and we told them, hey, this is going to happen. You know, get ready for it.
And she still put in the complaint.
Confronted Robert about it on his way to work and told him to put Toby in his room. So he locked him in his room, and so Toby, trying to get out, tore up the carpet trying to get out under the door.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's what I come home to.
Yeah.
It's this stressed out little ball of fluff.
Oh.
And so, man, at first he was just very confused. He was like, why is there another person here? He was like, but he's already home. And then he realizes it's me coming back. And he was like, and it's kind of like, what's his name from Ocean's 11? Where the fuck you been?
Hey, what happened with you?
Yeah. He's like, are you here? And then he runs up to me and he starts whining.
Like, I did terrible
He
things.
starts whining and he wants attention. I didn't know that he'd done terrible things yet. I didn't see all the shit. The place looked pretty good to me. I didn't see the carpet at his door. I hadn't seen that yet.
Yeah.
I just was unloading my car and getting everything brought into the house and unpacked. Toby had it kind of rough.
Well, at least he's here now. Or, well, at least you're here now.
Yeah. The ordeal is over.
Yeah, next weekend won't be bad at all. He'll have me. He'll have me.
Yeah, because, like, I'm sure taking him would have been a pain in the ass. So I'm sure they would have charged you extra for keeping him with you guys at the con.
They wouldn't let me bring him to the con. There's no way.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I was like, oh, man. And you couldn't keep him in a hotel room.
I talked to my brother. So I'm gonna take him up to Nashville next time, and he can look after him there. And I'm pretty sure that the next convention I go to is not gonna be in Atlanta. So I'm probably gonna be catching a flight anyway, and the airport is like 15-20 minutes away from where my brother lives. It's not super far.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's
Can make something work.
It's actually pretty close. So it's on the way. Now,
that's good.
The other part of this is that if we do a KaiCon, that's actually on the way to Nashville. That's good for him, because I can kind of sort of take him with me, and I don't have to stay at a hotel in Lebanon because that's only like an hour away, so I can kind of sort of take him with me.
And he'd probably be happy about that.
And I can give him I need to get him trained to be an emotional support dog. What is this?
Oh.
Is that him?
Oh, Moon said on the way.
Oh, he's coming. Oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
We get to see hi to Moon.
Drunk
Jesus.
Well,
it's not much. He just puts on the Jesus robe. Crazy.
Jesus
at least he
wants
wasn't
a hug.
drunk enough to type in some stuff in his phone.
Crazy idea. Rimuru chew toy for dogs. Oh boy.
Indestructible chew toy.
You're like,
Bronca.
oh, he's sober enough to type, and I'm like, there's speech to text, right? That exists. There you are.
Hello, it's me.
Hello, it is I.
It's Jesus.
Jesus Christo.
He wants hugs.
Drinker of water.
Give Jesus hugs, everybody.
That has turned to water.
Hello.
Jesus está aquí.
Oh
In
my
no
God.
glasses, pero es
dear.
allá.
Holy shit, he's amazing.
You could really let your hair down.
I know, I try my best, sweetheart. So am I actually reading a chapter, or am I just here to be drunk and funny?
You're here to be drunk and funny.
That works.
Okay. I'm only going to be here for about 20, 30 minutes. There is a legit party happening, so it is so much fun. I've turned water into wine like 3 separate times. Let me tell you, it's a great fucking time.
How many pints of blood have you been pulling from your body?
We only need
He's
you
morbid
for
it
5.
up. He's
That is
morbid
perfectly
it up.
fine. Drunk Jesus is here, and he is beautiful, and everyone
Drunk
loves him.
Jesus. El rostro de la
Jesus.
muerte.
You need to
Esa
bless and
aquí.
forgive the chat.
Chat, you have been blessed and you have been forgiven. I love
Well,
you
then do I
so
have
much,
any?
chat. I promise. And though I may not
we
be
have-
here for long, let it be known that Jesus loves you, and you should know, for the Bible tells you so. And let
Oh
me
my
tell
God.
you right now, I'm having a fantastic time. And thank you
Good.
so much for requesting my presence, for however short it may be.
All right.
Richie may be kicking me out soon, but I love each and every one of
Now
you.
that you've had your blessing, everybody, get a purge going.
The purge.
Reminds
This is
me
the
of
closest thing
the
I
one.
have to a
The
cross. So
purge be upon us.
Get
this
a
is the
purge.
I may not be a
closest
part
email
of
that
it.
I have access
All
to.
right,
so.
Mike.
But let me tell you, it will be a good time.
Sell.
Purge
All
to
right,
your
sweetie.
heart's content.
All right, chat. The time has come.
How many
It is time for the purge.
How many times do you think Team 4-Star gets Happy Halloween sent to them today?
Probably a lot.
5 billion.
That sounds pretty close to accurate.
What do you think of Shim's costume?
Are you supposed to be
let me-
Soe?
Yeah.
Yep, here. Here's
It's
the
a
photo
really
reference.
good Soe. I love it.
It's a dime store Soe.
It's as good as I could do for like $10.
You couldn't.
Hey,
you couldn't have
it
done
works.
contacts.
Let me tell you, this is just
do
a store-bought
contacts.
Jesus costume,
You
okay?
know how much
I have
contacts
the
cost?
wig and beard
Yeah.
in
I know,
my
I have
Buying
closet.
them for me.
The only reason I don't wear it is because I don't need it. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Fucking the convention was great. I was blessing people left and right.
sounds
It
like-
was so
yeah.
much fun.
Well, before we talk
He was
about
telling
the
me how you were
convention,
screaming
we
at
were
a
talking
golf
about,
ball.
We were talking about Putt Shack.
Oh, Putt Shack was great. I had someone come up and be all like, Jesus, I've been praying for $1 billion. Why haven't you given it to me? And I'm like, motherfucker, if I gave that money to everyone who fucking asked for it, do you know how fucked the world would be right now?
That's a
Let
lot
me
of
tell
inflation.
you. Absolutely. It would be an absolute pain in the ass. Let me tell you, just be happy I only granted it to the select few. Just keep trying your best. You might get there someday. I kind of just roll the dice and we'll see where it lands. Let me tell you.
It was one of the waiters came up. I've been meaning to talk to you. God damn it.
You were so great though. All the bartenders and waiters and waitresses there were absolutely wonderful. Every time I went up to the bar, they were all like, "Oh my God, Jesus, what the hell can we get you to drink?" And I was like, "Hit me with a Bloody Mary, a fucking Cuba Libre, a goddamn Manhattan." Let me tell you, it's gonna be great.
He was drinking.
Fuck whatever my father says. I love you all.
Jesus is slamming it down, man. Dude, based Jesus.
The Bloody
Based
Mary
drinking
No,
is
no.
the
Jesus.
biggest
Best
one.
All you gotta say
Jesus
is, all you
es
gotta
amor
say is
de
those
bene.
Westboro fuckers don't speak for me.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Fuck whatever the churches say. They're assholes. They keep trying to interpret left and right. Fuck them all. Let me tell you what. I love you all. I care about you all. I just want y'all to have a great life. Do
Jesus
whatever
is just
the
a
hell
drunk
you
hippie.
think is right. Just try to be right by yourself and by the people around you. That's all you gotta live by. Let me tell you. Modern Christianity is a pain in the ass, and they're gonna try to tear you down. But let me tell you what. You be you.
Man, drunk
have
Jesus
fun.
shows up and suddenly Toby cares.
He's telling the truth.
Toby,
They hated
I love
Jesus
you
'cause
so
he told the
much. You
truth.
are the bishop of best boys for a good fucking reason. Let me tell you what. You a damn good boy, and you should never change.
Yep, and he's always good.
I can't see the chat right now, but I assume y'all are sending love, and I love you all too. I promise.
I couldn't find a
Seamus
cross
so
emote,
lame.
so I
Moon
just
is
did the
drunk
2
Jesus,
pepperonis
Sonic
stacked
is
against each
Palpy
other.
from the
So
Valley, and Richie is tired
Perfectly
of all
fine.
this BS. Kind of, yeah. I mean,
He may be.
Moon's kind of Jesus from
but
the
y'all
valley in a
asked for
way.
me, okay?
to be fair, I'm an ethereal voice. I don't technically have to have a persona.
I have
And
a
this is
persona,
technically
but
my
that's just
uniform
because I'm
anyway,
amazing.
so it works.
you are Persona.
Persona non grata.
Besides, I'm gonna go ahead and pop off. I'm missing one hell of a party game, and it was
That's
a lot
true.
of fun.
All right, man.
I love you all. You are
Bye.
fantastic. Chat, I can't see you right now, but y'all have a
Happy
fantastic
Halloween.
night, a good time, and a happy Halloween.
Yeah, you
Bye,
too, bud.
everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
All right,
It was
we should
nice of
probably
Jesus
read
to
a
stop
book.
by.
It's always
Probably.
good when Jesus shows
Most
up. You
likely.
Mm-hmm.
know? Blesses the chat. You know,
Bless and honor the children of the chat.
blessed are the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch.
May the force be with chat.
Cauldrons and bubbles. What do you? Nothing.
Something wicked this way comes.
You all
Yep.
want to donate bits to the chat, to the stream.
Keep that up. You all want to join our Patreon.
Please.
You all want to
We
like,
want to
comment,
give Shem
and
a good
subscribe.
chunk of money so they can afford Warhammer models.
And don't forget to
No.
ring that bell notification for future videos.
By the way, we did go to a Warhammer store while we were down there.
Oh, that's cool. Did you guys get anything or just browse?
We were just browsing.
They're pretty cool.
We
I
went
like to
to-
paint the models and stuff.
We went to a little brunch place, and near that place there was a tiny little Warhammer store.
I like that.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, they're cool models. So they're expensive, but they're cool models.
We were driving by some really ritzy, nice communities
Mm-hmm.
in the Atlanta outskirts. And it was so funny how they're like, why are they all gated? And I'm like, because you see
know,
nice houses, and I see shit that I can take to a pawn shop and go get to the get shit from the dealer room with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
And you could do it too if you felt like it, I guess.
my mind immediately turns to mischief. All right.
Yep.
I hear you whining. I'll let you out. That's what he really wanted. He wanted out. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Then why are you bringing me in here?
Out. You want out? You want out? You want out?
He does.
Yeah, you want out? Yeah? You want out? Yeah? Like, get me out of this fucking room.
I'm sick of being on camera.
Good.
And then he's just standing there.
Menacingly.
Ugh. I think that would
Okay.
be fun to wear that too long. Ugh.
Ugh. Could you speak up? I'm not wearing pants. All right. So, should have done this when Jesus was on. Let us pray. All right, who wants to
Do the thing
Yes.
that we came here to do, I guess.
yeah, I guess.
Oh,
We have to. I mean,
I guess.
we
so.
have to.
Probably
Yeah.
we should.
Must I?
Mm-hmm.
Must we?
Must
I mean, it is what they are here for, ultimately.
Ultimately, yeah.
Take care. Easy. Yep.
No, I guess. All right.
If we must.
So,
Oh, you know what?
who's gonna? You know what? I guess it does have to
is
be
not
me.
here.
Yeah.
We have to remember to praise Osseous, because apparently he was too drunk to do it. Remember,
Yes, sir.
everyone, praise Osseous.
That'd be the best thing is to have Jesus show up. My father Arceus.
All right, now let me check that box off.
So man, It's been a while. I don't think I even know how to. Ladies and gentlemen of the congregation.
Oh, my horn fell off. That's not good.
I should have did it with the hood on.
You're not
I
as
didn't do it
horny
with the
as you
hood,
thought you
sorry.
were.
Oh, I'm sad.
Uh,
And the room went thing.
Man.
fell off.
It's just all
all the
coming-
ladies are going to be
it's all just coming
unfortunate.
apart
I'm
now.
going to be sad about that.
That's how it goes.
He's just not
Oh
into
god,
them.
all the hairs in my eyes too. Good.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the
This thing is like surprisingly itchy.
I'm just
Then
waiting.
again, it's hair.
Well, yeah, it's all the hair.
I'm just
Yeah.
waiting. I'm just waiting for Shim to go. Waka,
Oh
waka.
man, waka waka. It itches.
Let
Oh, this is gonna be great.
flow through you.
You don't
Ugh.
have to keep
That
it
is
on
you
for the
on
whole
you.
stream, dude.
I know. I'm gonna keep it on it for as long as I can.
Okay.
And I'm not going to probably keep the hood on.
So we're gonna start with the prologue.
That's hot,
So the prologue, the Lightspeed hero. So we're finally properly gonna learn about Lightspeed Masayuki. So that having been said, Soe
Mm-hmm.
was gonna give you. Let's see, where does it start? Page what? Oh,
10?
page 3.
Oh,
Bro, you get. I'm gonna let you have all 7. I'm gonna let you read all the way to 17. You get the whole ass prologue. Go for it.
all right,
Chew
you got
up.
it.
Eat this up. It's all you.
Let's do it.
Okay. Prologue: The Lightspeed Hero. Masayuki Honjo is a hero. It wasn't a name he gave himself, but for whatever reason, that is what the people he encounters call him. It hadn't even been a year since he came to this world that made no sense to him, but already, Masayuki's name had spread across the Western nations. Now, nobody failed to recognize it. And his true, unvarnished reaction to this was, why did this happen? Or why did this happen? To answer that, or to find the answer, you must go back over a year's time. So many ellipses.
Let's
Masayuki-
go back in time.
I did see that movie recently. Masayuki was on his way home from school, walking with his friends, when he spotted a beautiful woman with long blue hair. Like me. She was like a goddess from Norse mythology, one who would make models and celebrities turn pale, and her hair color was striking enough that it caught his eye even from a distance. If Masayuki had never seen anyone so beautiful before, it was a given that she'd also be the target of attention from everyone else around her. Hey, check out that hottie over there, he said to his friends, being as honest with his feelings as any male teenager would. But there was no response. Surprised, he turned around to find a totally unfamiliar world spread before him. Huh? His body and his brain instinctively froze. Where's my teacher? What's going on here? He treated his homeroom teacher like an idiot most of the time, and he called for them inside his mind anyway. It accomplished nothing. All he could do was stand there at a total loss. Sitting at the lip of the fountain in the town square, Masayuki stared into space. Some time had passed. He was calmer now, realizing nothing could be done and wondering how this could have happened. Looking back, that woman was terribly suspicious. That much of a beauty, but for some reason, nobody ever gave her a passing glance. It wasn't exactly decisive evidence, but that's what Masayuki's instincts told him. But the girl wasn't here. He tried looking around, but there was no sign of her anywhere. Doesn't the girl causing something like this usually come with you? I mean, like, holy crap, is this for real? It's not some prank? I'm really off in some other world? It would certainly make things easier to grasp if someone in on all this was next to him, but Masayuki enjoyed no such convenience. It was almost sunset. He hadn't eaten anything since lunch, and he was hungry. Wait a minute, he thought. This is a town. He counted himself lucky they hadn't transported him into a forest or a monster lair or whatever. But how unkind could you get? Like, normally, wouldn't a king or someone be waiting for me to explain what the hell is going on? He grumbled to himself, recalling the web novels he would enjoyed chatting about with his friends. But reality can be tough. There was no point in whining about it, so Masayuki looked back at himself once more. His name was Masayuki Honjo, age 16, and he had just made it into a fairly competitive high school. He had taken that occasion to reinvent his look, modifying his school uniform a bit and applying a light blonde dye to his hair. His face was well put together. There was apparently some Russian blood in their heritage, and his mother had beautiful, good looks as well. That was probably why his features were so striking, he thought. Not only that, going blonde made him stand out quite a bit. He was on the upper end in terms of popularity at school, and despite not being too physically strong, he still struck a presence around class. Oh, there goes the rainbow sticker. That, and he had a secret hobby, manga and anime. He never breathed a word of that in school, but practically speaking, he was pretty hardcore, if hidden, otaku. Maybe that was why, being thrown into this inexplicable situation, he really wasn't panicking that much. As he took all this into consideration, he checked his uniform in his bag. In one pocket was his wallet, which contained one 10,000 yen bill, 3 1,000 yen bills, and some spare change. His textbooks and such were all in his desk or locker at school, so the only things in his bag were a brand new issue of a weekly magazine, plus his phone and a piece of chewing gum. He had emptied it out at school so it wouldn't be too heavy on the way home, but he was paying big time for it now. Man, Masayuki sighed to himself as he gauged his possessions. If I knew this was going to happen, I would have prepared a little more. His disaster preparedness kit, tucked into a corner of his room, had everything he would have wanted inside. If he had had it with him, he'd be fine on his own for around 3 days, he supposed. Having a Swiss Army knife on hand, at the very least, would have made him feel a bit more secure, although he wasn't sure how far a knife would get him around here. Either way, he had nothing very useful on him, except maybe the gum. Masayuki unwrapped the piece and put it into his mouth, hoping to stave off the hunger. Now, the sad truth was that he had literally nothing. Over the past few hours of staring into space, Masayuki had noticed something. The people passing by, talking around him, spoke what sounded like complete gibberish. This was a different world with a different language, and even getting food could be an uphill battle. They ramped up the difficulty way too much on me, man. And, oh well, at worst, I could try negotiating with the people. Maybe trade my phone and bag for some food. His mind made up, Masayuki stood from the fountain. He couldn't be sure what this nation was like in terms of laws or safety, but he concluded that if there was some kind of public institution he could get help from, that was probably the best. Before that could happen, his top priority was survival, and that meant getting some food at any cost. Not knowing the language was devastating, and right now he could easily see himself starving to death. Water he could figure out. Food was another thing entirely. The concept didn't thrill him, but maybe he could go look for a discarded scrap somewhere. He had to find a place with lots around, restaurants, produce stores, that sort of thing. He'd already over the past few hours disposed of any pride he had. Masayuki was flexible that way. So after walking for several minutes, Masayuki successfully found himself in the foot of a restaurant. It was no grand feat. He simply let the sweet aroma guide him there. Right. Time to negotiate. I'm assuming asking for a job isn't going to work. I can't even talk with them. The language barrier was just too high, and Masayuki consumed a lot of media in the isekai or otherworld genre. And it felt to him that the protagonists there often didn't have problems with communication. Looking back, that seems suspiciously helpful. I'm not asking for some kind of video game cheat or whatever, but I wish they at least allowed me to communicate. But there was no one he could grumble about it to, so Masayuki approached the restaurant door, trying to open it. Before he could, it opened from the other side, revealing a loud clamor within. Huh? Or... Masayuki took a step back in surprise and found something soft come running into his arms. A cute, petite-looking girl, looking a little scared of something. Huh? Am I already in trouble here? He had hoped not, but he was right. I don't know how to say that.
Sony.
Yeah, Sony.
That's like the Sony controller. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a circle, an X, and a triangle. The
You're
girl
missing
was
the
now
square,
clinging
that's
to
it.
him, talking rapidly in an unknown language. All Masayuki could do was give her a vague sort of smile and nod. Seeing that, the girl quickly breathed a sigh of relief, and then for some reason started to blush. Her attention entirely focused on him. If it ended there, it would have been fine, but of course it didn't. There was a man nearby, a big, muscle-bound brute of a man, and he was headed straight for the woman in Masayuki's arms. Well, if this goes wrong, he might kill me. Masayuki couldn't be blamed for instinctively thinking that. He was a bit over 5.5 feet tall, and this giant was a good head above him. Man's face was reddened, perhaps out of drunkenness, and he had a long sword hanging off his belt. Even without a weapon, there was no way Masayuki could take him. It wasn't a wild stretch of the imagination to picture himself being beaten to death. He thought about fleeing, but the girl was still draped across him. It's over. It's totally over. The smile was still on his face, and he was frozen, knees shaken. The fact that he didn't lose control of his bladder, he thought, was worthy of praise. Then a strange voice spoke into his ear. Excuse me. Is this you, Richie?
Great stage for a second. Like, oh.
Oh crap! Forgot I'd muted myself a second ago.
Oh,
I was about to say the line. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait.
Wait.
So I don't want this scum in I don't want this scum in my sight again.
Champion-like, heroic. Well, technically, it's words of the world, which Great Sage
Yeah, you would
uses to
see him, yeah.
communicate with. So yeah, it would be the same voice.
Mm-hmm.
Champion-like heroic behavior detected. Unique skill, chosen one unlocked. Deploy this skill? Yes, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Masayuki wasn't too sure about giving consent to this, but the choice would prove to decisively change his destiny for good.
So hard to find good drugs.
Sorry.
All good.
There's like 5 different things happening. I'm still dealing with like post-con stuff.
My horn is falling over. Good.
You know,
I went flaccid for a bit. Sorry.
It's not that uncommon in men. 1 in 5. Confirmed. Acquiring language skills via Chosen One. Acquired. Also deploying heroic aura and heroic compensation.
A cavalcade of unfamiliar terms flashed across Masayuki's mind. What's going on? He struggled to comprehend the events happening to him, but there was no time to ponder over them. Here, what's the problem, kid? You think about getting in my way? Suddenly he could understand the giant. That was the power of that Chosen One skill he had just awakened to. But Masayuki had no time to bask in it. The important thing was getting out of this scrape. One poor choice and his life was likely over. He thought about going in onto his hands and knees, swearing up and down that he meant nothing of the sort. Before he could, the girl in his arms spoke up. Yes, this person said he'll help me. Did he now? He could see a blood vessel throb over the giant's temple. His muscles seemed to visibly swell, making crystal clear how powerful this guy was. Oh man, he doesn't even need to use his sword. One punch and it's over. The fear was strong enough that it gave Masayuki a cool head to think with. But he just couldn't figure out how to escape this alive. Well, how about that? Roared the man. In that case, let's see you defeat me and protect this girl. A cheer arose from the passerby and restaurant patrons who had formed a circle around them. Whoa, he's picking a fight with Jinrai the Mad Wolf. Think that's a good idea? He's gonna kill ya. Yeah, Jinrai's been furious ever since he failed his B rank exam. Katja knows that. That's why she cut him off the ale. Ah, made sense. Getting the cold shoulder from a girl he has feelings for must have put him over the edge. Ain't no stopping him now. Well, someone's gotta. If an adventurer kills a guy in the middle of town, that's serious. Someone inform the guild. They already did. But why don't you stop him if that's what you think? Are you crazy? The Jinrai's ranked C+, and he's easily worth a B or higher. He failed the exam because he got points taken off for behavior, but in strength alone, he's a powerhouse. I could never beat him. Presumably, there were co-workers of Jinrai, the giant before Masayuki. Listening to them inspired feelings of both hope and despair at once. Someone was off informing the guild of this. If he could stall long enough, maybe help would come. On the other hand, he had no idea how long it'd take, and nobody in the crowd seemed interested in lending a hand. He had to buy time, and he had to do it solo. And to Masayuki, that sounded like a death sentence. And look at Katja, one onlooker muttered. What's she doing? Getting some passing kid involved. Yeah, why me? Masayuki protested to himself, but he was the one who had nodded to a question he didn't comprehend. He'd put this on himself in the end. You ready to go? Of course he wasn't, but it didn't look like he'd be given any more time. Still, if he was going down, he at least wanted to look cool while doing it. He had reimagined his look for high school, but he wasn't some street delinquent. His hair was dyed, but it wasn't like he was any good in a fight. He had gone to some kendo classes in the past, but that wasn't going to help now. Not when he didn't even have a piece of wood to battle with. One thing Masayuki was good at was bluffing. The bigger they talk, the harder they fall, you know? You sure you're ready for this? After picking a fight with me? He didn't hesitate to grandstand there or here. There wasn't any reason not to. He already assumed a single punch would end this, and this bought him some time perfect. If not, he'd be lucky to get out of it alive. His legs weren't even shaking any longer. His fear must have frozen them in place. You got guts, huh? Great. Then I don't need to hold back either. Jinrai stared Masayuki down, a ferocious-looking smile on his face. Subjected to his threatening gaze, Masayuki immediately began to have regrets. Let's just run now. Oh, but that girl Katja's behind me. Hey, can you give me a little more space? Okay, that guy's always looking for me with those leering eyes. Teach him a lesson for me. Masayuki was trying to secure an escape route, but Katja must have assumed that she'd get in the way of his fighting. She finally took her arms off Masayuki and joined the crowd gathering around him. Oh, I'm surrounded anyway. So much for that. Messed that one up, he thought. Jinrai hadn't touched him yet because Katja was draped all over him. Brushing her away because she blocked his escape served only to shorten his life. Jinrai's grin widened. There was just one option left. He'd have to use the gum in his mouth as a smokescreen somehow and escape the confusion. Richie?
Paging the great sage.
Okay,
or the
but only
voice of
this
the...
once.
Mm.
Yeah.
Champion
Football.
level forward-facing courage detected. Unlock the powers Heroic Charm and Heroic Action from the unique skill Chosen One. The subject, Masayuki Honcho, has now fully unlocked the unique skill Chosen One.
Oh no, I tried running away. Masayuki's inner voice was ignored. But what was this voice he had been running through his mind, or that he'd be running through his mind? He wasn't sure, but without much idea that he had fully unlocked at all, or what he had fully unlocked at all, he decided not to think about it.
It is
A
I,
unique skill.
your better half.
Your better half.
Your conscience.
I mean, it's true.
It's your conscience. You should kill more people.
It's particularly this one. A unique skill certainly sounded fancy, but if he'd obtained it that readily, it must not have been anything too powerful. He wasn't that interested in it. Now wasn't the time. He had no interest whatsoever in facing forward against Jinrai. He was intending to spit his gum in his face and run, about the most cowardly approach possible. It was unclear how anyone could interpret that as courageous in any way, shape, or form. But despite his thoughts on the matter, things kept on happening to him. Ugh. What's this feeling overpowering me? You're no kind of weakling at all? Oh, this is him. Ugh. What's this feeling overpowering me? You're no kind of weakling at all? Jinrai, brimming with confidence a moment ago, was now visibly sweating before Masayuki. He was chewing his gum in an unconscious attempt to keep calm, but only disturbed Jinrai even more. You're casting some kind of arcane spell? Well, I don't care who you are. I'm gonna kill you! With a shout, the enraged Jinrai went at Masayuki. What happened next, he couldn't quite keep up with at first. He stood there, unable to parse this. Jinrai was just a step away, winding up to punch him. Masayuki groggily gave him a glance. His foe's gigantic fist was headed straight for him. Oh crap, this is it. He closed his eyes and ducked, trying to dodge it. There was no way he'd avoid it in time, he knew, so he just wanted to brace himself for the pain ahead. But the worst case scenario he pictured never came to pass. Yes, there was pain, but just a little twinge on his forehead. It struck him as odd. Gingerly, he opened his eyes. There he saw a toppled Jinrai, face up on the floor and completely unconscious. Huh? Masayuki grunted, completely unaware of what had happened. However, his asinine utterance was drowned out by the cheers erupting around him. Wow! He didn't even need both arms to beat the Mad Wolf! I can't believe it. Did you see how he moved? I did. He dodged that swipe with a hair's breadth, then slammed his head right into his chest. What a master! Who could that kid be, anyway? That crowd of onlookers was murmuring all around him. This was, however, due to the combined effects of Masayuki's Chosen One skill, all working in tandem. Heroic Aura. An overpowering aura that can be unleashed by champions. Also acquired by Gazelle, King of the Dwarves. Lesser enemies will be frozen on the spot, awed by this unique aura and ready to take orders from its wielder. Heroic Compensation grants the user immense luck, making all regular attacks critical blows. The effect is applied to any companions of the user as well. Also has the effect of making anything the Chosen One says and does interpreted in a positive light by the people around him. A starkly powerful effect. Heroic Charm rouses the hearts of anyone watching the user in action, reducing their fear and stimulating their bravery. Anyone affected trusts in this champion, seeking to travel on their path. As another effect, anyone defeated by this champion will join their side and become their companion. This effect also applies to all non-undead monsters. Heroic Action. The user's activities are all the first steps to becoming a champion. They provide guidance for their companions, eventually earning them all praise. Further, that was the gist of what the unique skill Chosen One offered. It was actually one of the rarest of all uniques, a superior skill that ranked up there with the ultimate in superpowers, alongside skills like absolute severance and unlimited imprisonment as wielded by the heroes of the past. Jinrai may have been strong enough to call the shots around this town, but he was powerless against Masayuki's skill. Unfortunately, Masayuki himself had no idea about any of this. He had just fully unlocked one of the most fearsome fearsome uniques anyone in this world could ever dream of, and he was clueless about it. He was clueless, but fortunately that was alright. Chosen One was a passive skill. Masayuki wanted to be a hero, and now that Chosen One was his, there was no stopping it. And whether he wanted to or not, Masayuki was hurling towards a new heroic destiny at unstoppable speed. Yes, a blonde-haired hero. Must be. I have heard of this. Ah, yes, there was a hero like this in the past, no? I heard he went missing. Has he been revived? The rumblings had grown into a roar. A hero? A hero, you say? It couldn't be. But look at that strength. It must be so. He could not be sure who said it at first, but the crowd was quickly growing convinced that they had a hero in their midst. This hair is just a dye job. But by this time, Masayuki realized it was already too late. There was passion in the crowd's eyes. They sparkled as if transfixed on someone they looked up to. Huh? You have the wrong person. He hurriedly tried to deny it, but it was drowned out by a loud rumbling voice at his feet. Fall back, all of you! How dare you act so flippantly toward the hero who bested me with such ease? Jinrai, the giant of a man Masayuki had defeated out of pure luck, stood up and started shouting at the crowd. He turned towards Masayuki, dusting himself off, and bowed to him. Please excuse my rudeness from before. I had no idea you were a hero. No, I'm telling you, I'm not. My name's Jinrai. I'm something of a well-known adventurer around these parts. People call me the Mad Wolf. Guess I let my fame get to my head a little, huh? Sorry about that. Facing the brunt of your skills, hero, taught me just how much I have to learn. Could I humbly ask you to let me join your side? He bowed his head even deeper. Masayuki couldn't begin to deal with this. Here was this monolith-like man begging him to be his lackey, and he had no idea what to do about it. Well, actually, I'm really not a hero or anything. Oh, are you trying to keep the fact a secret, perhaps? What shall I call you, then? I would love to hear your name as well. Jinrai grinned at him, turning a deaf ear to Masayuki's desperate denials. There was nothing Masayuki could do. The crowd, shouted down and silenced by Jinrai's roaring, nervously watched them both. Well, he thought. Whatever. My name's Masayuki. Just Masayuki is all right. I've just arrived in town, and if Jinrai was being this subservient to him, he thought, maybe he could earn a free dinner out of it. Plus, if he kept playing dumb, maybe Jinrai could fill him in on this world a little more. Two birds with one stone. But once again, events were moving far more rapidly than he had expected. I understand, Jinrai replied with a knowing smile. Then he came closer, bringing his lips to Masayuki's ear. You've only just been revived, haven't you, Sir Hero? Huh? Masayuki thought at first, but this was one misunderstanding that was best taken advantage of. It didn't seem like Jinrai was much interested in his protesting. Besides. Plus, he reasoned, maybe it's better to frame it this way anyway. It probably killed this guy's pride if he lost to some kid. Losing to a hero is different. So Masayuki stopped bothering to plead with people not to call him a hero. This turned out to be a dreadful mistake. Why? Because it gave birth to the legend of Lightspeed, Masayuki the hero. In short time, Masayuki was taken in by the representative from the Free Guild, who had quickly run to the scene and transported him to the capital of the Kingdom of Inglacia. There he met Yuki Kagurazaka. You've had it tough too, huh? Hearing that almost made Masayuki cry, despite himself. But as he learned, this boy Yuki had lived in this world for nearly 10 years now. Older in age, but still childlike in appearance. Based on his actual age, he would have been transported here back when he was in middle school. It's been even harder for him, huh? Masayuki composed himself. Now there was no time for crying. If anything, he was inspired more than ever to do his best. After discussing matters with Yuki, Masayuki decided to try becoming an adventurer. He had a useful companion in Jinrai for this, and Yuki promised to make arrangements on his behalf as well. Masayuki, not wanting to be a burden on Yuki forever, figured that adventuring was the easiest way for him to become independent. I'm not sure how it happened, Masayuki said, but at least I know how to speak the language. Compared to you, I guess I might have lucked out a little, huh? You certainly did. I can't even tell you how hard it was at first, but I had a teacher in my own life too. So it wasn't that painful. Thanks to having magic and everything, it's actually pretty easy to pick up on the spoken language. That much, Yuki explained, could be learned through magic. Although learning how to read and write had to be done the traditional painstaking way. The guild leader looked through a set of documents introducing Masayuki to people who could become potential work companions. Ah, this reminds me of Bernie. He learned how to speak magically too. Bernie was a young man, a graduate of the Inglacian Institute, and another otherworlder Yuki had harbored for a time. A native of the United States, Bernie could only speak English at first, which made even communicating with Yuki slow-going. With the right sort of magic, however, things were sorted out quickly, and the experience made Bernie interested enough in magic that he wanted to study it in school. Now he was a freshly minted adventurer, one looking for fellow party members to work with, and Masayuki and Jinrai seemed to fit the bill perfectly. So they became a 3-man adventuring team, a job Masayuki grew proficient in with overwhelming speed. By the time half a year passed, their party was being called Team Lightspeed, already the stuff of lore. Jinrai was ranked B+, but as one onlooker said in their first encounter, he was really more B-level in terms of skill. His strength, paired with Bernie's magic, made it possible to handle hunting runs at a stable clip. Masayuki had learned Kendo, but only at the most casual of levels. He was an amateur, but an amateur with Chosen One in his arsenal. The skill applied itself to his companions as well, which meant every attack they dealt out landed critically. As a result, anyone with Masayuki was always performing above their regular abilities. Jinrai could even give you a performance that overcame the barrier to rank A. It also made it harder for enemies to hit them, an extra blessing that made them all but unbeatable. But that wasn't even the best part about Chosen One. Astoundingly, anything and everything Masayuki's companions did was treated as Masayuki's own accomplishments. All praise and adulation for Team Lightspeed was heaped upon the shoulders of Masayuki alone, leading him to acquire the Lightspeed name for himself over time. His participation in a battle tournament held around that time in Glacia helped to further spread that alias. He joined it so he could use the prize money to shore up his equipment, but he barely broke a sweat all the way to the winner's podium. Simply unsheathing his sword would make his opponents give and plead for mercy. The crowd assumed Masayuki had laid down some kind of light speed attack. He never did, but they didn't understand that, and having the name Lightspeed Masayuki only further encouraged them to overrate his skills.
Real quick,
Huh.
you might as well just call him Buggy at this point, because it's exactly what it feels like.
I mean, that's kind of it, or like King a little bit.
My horn!
Yeah,
You're not wrong.
That fucking hurt. Yeah,
He kind of lucks into everything.
yeah. So it's like, oh well. I mean, at least he kind of like fits into it. Like King's like, no, stop, I don't want it. This was
Oh.
all thanks to Chosen One. And while Masayuki was aware of that, there was no stopping now, or to be more accurate,
Don't stop
he didn't know
me
how to
now.
stop. He's just
Alex,
like,
such
oh,
a
whatever.
good-
I guess I'm doing this now. It was impossible to resist this skill unless you had a unique skill of your own, and since Masayuki couldn't deliberately turn it off, it was a given that the rumors would keep spreading. It gave Masayuki a headache thinking about it, but it didn't do anything bad for him either, so he decided to just give up. At least pretend to live to the expectations of the people and keep playing the role of a hero. By this time, he had been joined by a fourth companion, a young girl named Jiwoo. Gifted in fairly high level spirit magic, she had followed the rumors to Masayuki's doorstep. She had rebuked him at first, assuming him to be a villain calling himself a hero for nefarious purposes. But over time, she grew to trust him. Despite her peculiarities, the healing spells she'd cast made her the keystone of the party's exploits. Thus, Masayuki and his companions continued their steady advance at virtual breakneck speed. He was now an A-level adventurer, still undefeated in battle sport, and after less than a year of life in Glacia, he was part of the hero echelon. It had been, to say the least, an eventful year. This was all still something that shocked even him, but by now, Masayuki had grown accustomed to being called a hero. I guess it's true, he detachedly thought. People really can just get used to just about anything. And despite all the adulation, he still kindled deep-seated doubts about himself on a daily basis, and before long, he was facing a major turning point in his life. Good.
Chapter 1.
Mm-hmm. Good. Oh, I'm flaccid again.
Oh, that's awkward.
Also, hello.
1 in 5.
Hey.
Thanks for the bits.
The bitty bits.
Mm-hmm.
The bitty bits. The bitty bits. Stone Stream Dubs, hello again.
Hello.
All right, so we've made it to the eve of the festival, have we?
Yes, sir.
Sonic, it is now your turn to take over.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, yes. You have time. Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This time, it was Yuki himself giving orders to Team Lightspeed. Recently, an enormous slave market had been uncovered in Balachia, right? Balachia, yeah. One of the smaller kingdoms that reigned in Glacia. Fortunately, a runaway slave had contacted the relevant authorities for help, and now they needed to form an expedition to investigate. But while Balchia was small, there was a chance this market was backed by the kingdom itself. The assignment was ranked a B+ or greater in difficulty, not the sort of thing your average brawling adventurer could tackle. I wanted to turn this down, Yuki admitted to Masayuki, but I can't say no to one of my sponsors. As famous as you guys are, I'd like you to act as a lure. Sending the investigation team in without support was likely not going to be successful, so Yuki explained he wanted Team Lightspeed to join them on the expedition. And while the team collected evidence about the slave market, Masayuki and company could stay active in public, ensuring the Balachian government attention stayed on them. An A-ranked team like Masayuki's couldn't be refused entry by the kingdom, and with the investigation team doing the nitty-gritty detective work, the party would strike a nice balance between brains and bronze. It didn't seem too tricky to the hero's ears. Masayuki, let's give these people a hand. Why, a nation that small could declare war against us and we'd still win. Jinra was alight with the burning flame of vengeful justice. Ever since Masayuki had beaten him, he had become more refined, gentlemanly, a far cry from when they first met. Yeah, Bernie added, there's no way they could let slavery, we can let slavery happen in this day and age. With Masayuki's strength, we could put things right fast. As an Otherworlder, Bernie had some kind of unique skill as well, making him resistant to Masayuki's Chosen One. That didn't stop the man from respecting him nonetheless. Masayuki couldn't guess why, especially given how much he liked complaining to Bernie about the issues in his life. But despite that, Bernie trusted and helped him in innumerable ways. His partial impression of Masayuki felt like a cherished dose of reality, one he referred to often. And if Bernie felt that way about this, the decision was clear. Jui, I'm going to assume.
Jiwoo.
Jiwoo, meanwhile, was more
Kurt.
current.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Kurt.
That sounds kind of racist, if I'm being honest.
Jiwoo?
Yeah, I mean,
Jiwoo sounds a little bit, yeah.
Oh, look at little Jiwoo over there.
Oh my fucking god!
Oh my
no.
god.
See, the
We are
more
gonna
you
get
say
banned.
it, the worse this
Yeah.
gets. Please stop. Please stop.
Yeah,
History,
no, I
You're
hear
gonna be
it.
destroyed.
Do not get the channel banned. Please no.
We are gonna be destroyed. They're gonna come for me and my wig and my kneecaps. This is all your fault.
And your horn.
Yeah.
They're gonna break your horn, man.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, that'd be bad.
This is what happens
This is all
when
your
you
fault.
say it like that.
That's your fault.
The J word. All right.
Justice.
Right. J for J. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If Masayuki says yes, I will join him. She had a blind, incontrovertible
Mm-hmm.
incontrovertible faith in him, it seemed, almost never voicing a contrary opinion. And she had just made it ununanimous. Great. It wasn't much longer before they set foot in Balachia.
I think it's Balakia. I guess
Balakia?
whichever. I don't know. Either one, I guess.
Balachia or something.
Balakia.
Balakia. Yep.
Okay.
Potato, potato, I guess.
Balakia.
Yeah.
Blake.
Balaka.
Balakia.
Oh.
They were in an ornate reception hall, the site of a ball attending
It's
by
Balake.
noble.
Balake.
Balake? Oh,
No,
Balake.
no. Blake. Balake.
Balake.
Are you kidding me?
I block you.
Blake. The hell?
Balaka.
Balake.
Balakia.
Why didn't you answer when I
Balake.
called you Balake? Because it's pronounced Blake. Are you kidding? Blake.
Balakia.
That was good. That was good.
Lake Chia. Wouldn't it be Chi instead? I just realized.
Balachia? I mean, either one.
Yeah, with the SH?
Balachia, Balakia, potato, potato.
Blimbalo.
Actually, I don't know.
Blimbalo. Ah, this is torture. Palpatine's pub. Let's see. Where was I?
Yes.
By the nobles, not just in whatever we're just gonna call Balachia and leave it at that,
Yeah, sure.
but other nearby kingdoms. And Masayuki, an invitee, was being faced with a situation so terrifying he would do just about anything to escape it. The slave market did exist here. He just gotten to witness it for himself. Give me a break. Isn't that the investigator's job? It almost made him want to cry. Not again. He was on his way back from a small journey to find a restroom, and he heard a small voice from a room he happened to pass by. He didn't intend to peek inside, but he took a glance anyway. And I don't know.
Raber?
Braver,
Braver.
thank you.
Yeah. you're welcome.
Braver. Need a
Braver.
photo friend on that. The Earl serving as
Bravery.
Masayuki. Bra-
Bravery.
Good.
The Earl serving as Masayuki's tour guide was there. They locked eyes. Happened in an instant. Are you? Well, this certainly isn't helpful. Actually, we joked about it so much I forgot. Completely blanked on what you guys said it was the pronunciation. Barbarian?
Blake. No, I'm kidding.
Hold on. Where are you? Sorry, I was looking down at something.
Well,
Braver?
this certainly isn't helpful.
Oh.
They're not reading a long
Braver.
shot, apparently.
I think it's Braver.
Braver.
Yeah.
Oh, like, okay, I can just think of like Brave Bird then.
Like
Okay.
BRAE, like, like a brave, a horse, like a braver.
Oh,
Because
okay.
AE,
Braver.
I think, is A. So.
Braver said, still smiling. If you heard me, I suppose there is little I can do. I had a muscular soldier standing guard at the door. But I certainly didn't expect you to defeat him. I should have expected as much from the hero, shouldn't I? Soldier? What soldier? Whoa, wait up. He was about to lodge a complaint, but got cut off. Ah, the hero has gone mad. He must have stopped everyone after him. We must subdue him. Much to Masayuki's shock.
Ah! The hero has gone mad! He must be stopped! Everybody after him! We must subdue him!
Okay.
You'll find out why.
Ah! The hero has gone mad! He must be stopped! Everyone after him! He must be subdued! We must subdue him!
Oh, I guess either would work, but yeah.
You'll see why in a moment.
Yeah. I kind of feel like it was more ironic, like, yes, you found me out, you hero.
You'll find
like
out.
that,
You'll find out why if you
Okay.
continue reading.
All right. Much to Masayuki's shock, the man Earl Baber.
Braber.
Braver.
It's like
Braver. I know. I'm sorry. Braber was
like bravery.
There you go. Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny when I said that. Alright. I got the jitter. I got the giggles now. Sorry.
Balakia.
But no, I got a Baber. Earl Baber.
Balchinia.
Balchinia. Oh my god.
God damn it.
Cheeking right in the chin.
Earl Balchinia
God damn it. No.
was taking
Gonna
Fucking
stab all you motherfuckers.
to grab the sword he was leaning against and slash the Earl down with it. Then the man tossed it away and began screaming, attempting to frame Masayuki for the attack. What ensued next was predicted. A dozen or so soldiers flocked to the scene, carefully eyeing Masayuki and his companion Jinrai. Well, Jinrai said, his fiendish face twisted into a smile. Look at what the cat dragged in, Masayuki. Doesn't need to waste his time with you lot. Let me dispatch you all. Jinrai went on the move, and with the Chosen One support Masayuki provided, his performance in battle ventured into the realm of superhuman. Monster! But me is the hero who tamed that beast! For getting in my way.
Go sell.
I don't know how. I just felt like I don't even know what voice I should have done for that. Go sell. Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Go sell. The Marquist who
Marquis.
or Marquis, thank you, who just had struck down Braber. I'm trying not to say Braber. I'm really trying.
No, you got it.
Braber gave Masayuki a loathful scowl. You see the tide of this battle? Give up and surrender. Considering how Jinrai was systematically destroying the gaggle of soldiers who poured in from the front of the adjacent room, Masayuki figured the fighting was done. He was wrong. How kind of you to offer, hero. But if anyone was witness to this scene, this travesty, all of them would side with me. Then Masayuki recalled Earl Braber still on the ground. He could hear footsteps. More people were coming towards the commotion. Blast. This is bad news, Masayuki. Oh, oops. Blast. This is bad news, Masayuki. I'm assuming that's Jinrai saying that?
Blast! This is bad news, Masayuki! Why would he be so calm? He's in the middle of a fight.
He is a
Yeah.
gentleman, but yeah.
No, but
I don't know.
Jinrai's not exactly a gentleman, dude.
It seems, I don't know, he seemed like he was pretty much mopping the floor with them, so he might be pretty calm.
He's still in the middle of a fucking fight, though.
Yeah.
It's like blast. This
He's
is bad
dominating.
news.
Blast! This is bad news, Masayuki.
Yeah.
They were in the kingdom of Blake. We don't
Balakia.
know anymore. Balakia.
Yeah.
And while the hero's name was known worldwide, Masayuki was still just a guess. Marquis Gosel was a figure of people and power and authority here. Between him and Masayuki, he would be the more trusted of the two. That's why Gosel was acting so confident right now, and why Jinrai was biting his nails. But Masayuki didn't fret for a moment. Internally, he was annoyed. But already, his instincts told him things were gonna go just like they always did. His skill, Chosen One, always had a knack for bending situations in a way that made him the hero of the day. And it happened again. Soon, the room was awash with curious rubberneckers, including a few Balchinians. It really is.
God
Okay.
damn it.
Noblemen and foreign dignitaries.
If
The
you-
Marquis had just been standing triumphantly in one corner, but now shock was racing across his face. What? What has become of me? With a groan, Earl Braber regained consciousness. Sir Masayuki, this is a valuable witness, is he not? He was still alive, so I healed his wounds.
That's Jiru
Jira.
again.
Jiru.
Yeah.
Ah, damn it.
So.
Jiru, who had slipped in at some point, had cast healing at Braber, and now she was looking right at Masayuki, fishing for compliments. Hey there, old man, Jinra thundered, turning towards Braber. Lucky for you, Masayuki is such a forgiving lad, huh? If you tell the truth to everyone right now, I'll make sure slave trading is the only crime you get charged with. But if you try to keep anything secret, I'd imagine that man over there is just gonna slash you down again, won't he? So what will it be? The vicious smile on his face told Braber everything he needed to know. He thought for a moment, calculating, then resigned himself to his fate. Hanging his head, he began his confession. What the devil has happened in here? Is happening in here? And the king of Balchia
Balakia.
chose what?
Balakia.
Balakia. Sorry.
Balakia.
Balakia. We've had so many pronunciations thrown out there. I can't.
No, there's actually a country called Wallachia. That's spelled almost the same thing.
Wallachia, okay.
It's literally Balakia.
Oh, it's not Wallachia? Okay.
No, it's Wallachia.
Oh.
I thought that country. Okay. Wallachia.
Scorched the
That
earth
exact
from
moment.
Hungary to Wallachia.
That exact moment to step in. As the nobility felt silent, things resolved themselves quickly. It all happened exactly how Masayuki had predicted it would. Things got even more heated. Military police quickly stormed the residence of Earl Braber and Marquis Gosel, uncovering evidence of their slave trade. It revealed a scandal. Gosel was one of the leaders in the organized crime ring. And not only that, their headquarters was right in here in Balchia.
Wallachia.
News weighed heavily upon the king. Orthrus.
Their
Orthodox.
country
No, I
is
got
not called Balchia. It's
Balchia.
Wallachia.
Well, that was what we were saying at first. I'm having a hard time getting it out of my brain. And I'm like, no, it's not it. Balakia. Balakia.
Oh.
The slave trading group whose sphere of influence was largely in the Western nations was using the small nation of Balakia
Thank you.
as a front.
Uh-huh.
It was a sad state of affairs, one the king refused to ignore. Orthrus dealt in much more than just slaves, however. They ran a diverse business, handling weapons, armor, mysterious potions, drugs, monsters, magical items, even arcane artifacts. They were too powerful for a small kingdom to topple, and so Balachia's king had enlisted the Free Guild for help. And if the Free Guild was involved, Team Lightspeed no doubt would be as well. A person can grow used to extraordinary events all too quickly. But really, Masayuki could predict all of it. I figured this would happen, he thought as he accepted the king's request. Before long, a large number of adventurers, including Masayuki's A-ranked party, gathered together in an operation to sweep up Orthros, counting the supporting troops in
Balakia.
Blachia.
Balakia.
Trying to say it
Balakia.
right. Again, it's like hardwired in my
Stop.
brain.
It's not chi.
Balakia.
It's not Balakia.
Blachia.
Yeah.
Blachia. Why does it have CH? It just whatever. They numbered over 2,000 in all. And once Chosen One had stuck its teeth into all of them, they exhibitated astounding force. Exhibited, thank you. Astounding force.
Yeah, welcome.
Astounding force, thank you. Orthros' base of operation had several hundred members on standby, including multiple A-grade fighter forces and a few captured magical beasts. This made them as powerful as a country themselves, but with Masayuki and the assault team he led, Orthros was thoroughly and completely cleansed from the nation. Masayuki himself hardly had to do anything, or, to put it another way, his mere presence helped everyone shine, whether he knew it or not. Thus, without a lot of work, the operation was a success, and the notorious Orthros was smashed for good. Once again, things turned out well without Masayuki lifting a finger, and the latest feat Metfit was famous not just in Glacia, but all the way to the far edges of the Western nation. As usual, things went off without a hitch. It might have been nice if the story ended there, but this particular mission left a certain problem behind. Among the slaves released and put into guild custody were mixed in with monsters, including some ferocious magical beasts, which were killed on the spot. However, some of the slaves couldn't be dealt with so swiftly, namely the elves. The issue of what to do with them soon arose. The elves wanted to return home to the First of Jura, but the guild couldn't just drop them off and send them on their merry way. Certain geopolitical issues were involved. Jura had only just come under the jurisdiction of the demon lord Rimuru, and the enslaved slaves sought Rimuru's help. There was no guessing how...
Mhm.
You said
if the
enslaved
enslaved
slaves. I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
the enslaved slaves.
Oh,
Mhm.
The enslaved elves sought Rimuru's help.
sorry about that. If the enslaved... Oh, yep, I hear it. I know what
You
it is.
almost did it.
Enslaved
You almost did it.
elves. I know! Enslaved elves sought Rimuru's help. There was no guessing how he would respond. Perhaps he'd retaliate against... Oh god, no, please.
Balakia.
Somehow the
All right,
Western
when we get there, I'm
nations...
just gonna say the word and you move on.
Yeah, I don't know why
It's
I can't
gonna-
say it right.
It's gonna save
Balakia.
us. It's gonna save us a lot of time.
Exhaust plots. It's that all over again.
All right.
Mm.
The Western nations knew about the disastrous scene in Farmus, and if a nation that big could fall, there was no way one as tiny as Balakia
Okay.
could defend itself. Sir Masayuki, please do something. Their king, a dignified man, usually was all pleading for help in his private chambers, away from prying eyes. Masayuki, feeling too guilty to turn him down, agreed. It can't be that big of a deal, casually thought. All I'm doing is taking the elves to Tempest. That was the start of his mistake. For everyone who heard that Masayuki was traveling to Tempest, just took that I got thrown off there. Was traveling to Tempest, took that to mean the hero was finally sallying off to slay a demon lord. The rumors spread like wildfire, but Masayuki didn't take them too seriously. His mind was used to the routine, and it took him that, like always, it turned out just fine in the end.
It
Sorry,
told
it
him that.
told him that. Yeah.
Not it
You're
took
good,
him
though.
that.
Mhm.
Oh, it told. What the heck?
Mhm.
I must have skipped over that. Jeez.
No, you just said the wrong word.
Interesting.
You do that a lot. We
Where
just
was I?
kind of ignore it.
Horned.
Let's see, where were we? Certainly, Chosen One was a unique skill to be feared when set off. There was no doubting that. But no matter how strong you are, there's always someone stronger ahead. A fact Masayuki was too proud of himself to remember. Right, Masayuki said, through his magic link.
Mhm.
Yeah. In that case, we'll meet over there. He was submitting his report and discussing future plans with Yuki. Due to the multiple layers of barriers protecting Inglacia, completing a magical link like this required sending your thoughts encrypted through certain wavelengths. It wasn't something you could pull off on short notice, so they had agreed to reach out to each other only at certain times. So Masayuki shut it off inside. Yuki worries far too much. You said it. Jinrai nodded. If you wanted to be a demon lord, Masayuki, that couldn't possibly be a problem for you. Bernie was less optimistic. I'll remind you that even Hinata, the saint, couldn't only fight this Rimuru to a draw. It'd be wise you not to let your guard down. Masayuki gave this a vague nod. It made him think a bit. Things had gone swimmingly up to now. But really, he hadn't done much at all. He didn't know Hinata. They had never met. But Yuki had nothing but praise for her, and Masayuki respected him. If she couldn't beat this guy, maybe he thought a lot tougher, or maybe he was a lot tougher than Masayuki thought at the moment. It gave him pause. Yeah, you're right. Everyone says Rimuru wants to make nice to people. We probably shouldn't go raring for a fight. Ha ha! Sounds to me like this demon lord knows his days are numbered. Demon lords are evil, plain and simple, said Jiwai.
Jiwoo.
Oh, I hear it. Jiwoo.
Jiwai? Jesus.
Oh, no! Oh, no, I'm gonna get canceled. Ah! Jiwai.
Yes.
Jiwai. I'm sorry.
Fucking, really?
Me? Oh, no, Shiv. No, don't point the finger at me.
Yep.
No!
See
No, you would get canceled. Alright. Well, Bernie added, we'll have to see how he acts and decides based on that. If the Saint and the Demon Lord had reached an agreement on matters, then only you, Masayuki, are qualified to be a true hero. You had best act carefully among those lines. Masayuki nodded. Yeah, with all your help, I bet I could beat him. But let's take things slow and steady, okay? The question of whether to fight Rimuru would be left for later. For now, they would wait and see. In the eyes of Masayuki, all three of his companions, Jinrai, Bernie, and... Jinrai, Bernie, and Jiwoo.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Jiwoo.
No, you're right.
Jiwoo were utter beasts. He himself was nothing to write home about, but he couldn't imagine anyone from his trio actually losing a battle. I mean, he reasoned, if I actually got in a fight, I guess I'd win somehow, but it's not like I got a grudge against this Rimuru guy or anything. No point trying to start trouble. So they'd pack up and set off for Tempest. He was pretty optimistic about how this trip would go. That's the thing, I believe. Do I keep going, or?
Hold on.
Oh. Heck.
For a good reason.
I wonder if he's gonna get there and somehow he's gonna luck his way out of another victory. Just Remo's like, I don't care. We're not gonna fight, man. Look, it's all fine. Thank you for breaking the elves.
Are you done?
Because he loves his elf.
You
Yeah.
wanna
Nah,
stop
I think I reached the.
All right. As usual, things went off without a hitch. All right. I'm gonna try.
Even after all those royal audiences.
Huh?
Oh, I thought you were reading for that's not the line.
What?
Even after all those royal audiences, that's where you'd start.
What? No, before long, a large number of adventurers. That's where you were, right? You were at the three dots,
No.
right? Oh no!
No, he went to the
okay.
first
circle.
circle.
He's got a big new circle. Oh, even after all those royal audiences.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've switched perspectives. It's not Masayuki. It's
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay.
Even after all those royal audiences, nope, that's wrong place. I pause before. Even after all those royal audiences I gave, my schedule was just absolutely packed. Now I was entertaining human guests. At the moment, our nation was receiving delegations from all around the world, one after the other. Some of the earlier parties arrived a good week ago, I heard, and not all of them received formal invites. There were also merchants picking up on the rumors and bringing even more energy to town. Previous visitors were showing them and other new guys around, acting all proud of themselves, and even the nobler dignitaries and royal families stopping in, looked around in wonder at the unfamiliar sights. It seemed, at first glance, that my expectations had paid off and our plan to make this a tourist hub was working. Still, our town was only large enough to lodge maybe 3,000 nobles at best. For commoners, that number was more around 10,000, but in terms of higher-end accommodation, there wasn't quite that much. The service and the dining we had to offer were completely different, and considering we had people in royal lines of succession showing up, we had to consider security as well. Thus, we made sure each noble was given ample space to work with. Given all the dignitaries we invited, we had banned the general public from our luxury inns, whether they could afford a suite or not. Some of the richer merchants in town could, but I was worried about offending them if we were too busy with nobility to offer good service. But apparently I didn't need to worry. Molly Mile was on it, making sure all the more powerful of the merchant classes were set up to their satisfaction. Great job, Molly. Ah, Sir Rimuru. This much is simple to provide. You have Sir Regard and everyone else in town to thank for making a habit of being so thorough with their work. Molly Mile was a really reliable guy. It went without saying that Regard, Rieger, and everybody working under them deserved great praise, but when it came to good customer service and satisfied lodgers, Molly Mile was my go-to man. All things considered, I figured we were off to a pretty good start. Pardon me, I didn't want to cough right into the mic. All right. Okay, keep it up. That I will. Leaving the rest to Molly Mile, I resolved to devote myself to our most important visitors. We were in our meeting hall. Shuna and Shion were busy with all sorts of prep work. Catering for such a large crowd, after all, meant careful advanced preparation. And Gabiru and Kurobe were just as busy, performing final checks on the exhibits they had going. Since I wasn't dealing with monsters right now, I didn't need to put on such an overpowering I am stronger than you act. Thus, I figured we didn't need my entire staff on hand. And given the lack of a strict species-based hierarchy, things didn't have to be nearly as solemn and pretentious. I was obviously in human form, dressed to the nines in order to express my force and financial wealth. That part, frankly, I didn't care about. Being a slime would have been a lot easier, but I'd given up on pushing that. On that note, none of my advisors was willing to budge. The nobility from the western nations were inoffensive enough in their greetings to me. The King of Bloomond arrived in the midst of our hellos, looking like the same nice, approachable, middle-aged man as ever. The kind of king you'd expect in an illustration from a book of fairy tales. Next to him was his queen, beautiful and still looking young. I didn't know her age, but apparently they had been married for over 20 years. At first glance, they didn't look like the best of matches, but they were a loving one, and the people of Bloomond were great fans of them both. I must apologize for not thinking you sooner, he told me. You winning over Marquis Muller and Earl Hellman, as well as applying pressure to the Western Holy Church, helped us all a great deal. It was this man's Oh, no, that was Rimuru, actually. Sorry. Let me do that one.
Oh.
Let me do that one again.
You're good.
No, no, that's, he told me. Okay, no,
I think that's the king, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. It was this man's consent that had allowed Fuse to move so freely. I could have pulled off that plan only because of the promises he kept, and thanks to his singing my praises far and wide, my reputation actually didn't seem that bad, judging by the increasing number of merchants coming to my nation. The King of Bloomin certainly proved influential to me. I gave the king thanks, but he laughed and waved it off. No, no, Sir Rimuru. There's hardly any need to thank me. All we did was live up to the terms of the treaty we ratified. And did Fuse tell you, by the way? I had staked quite a bit on you. Our nation's fate, in fact, is now tied in with yours. And I did this because we do stand to profit, of course. So there's no need for further thanks. He gave me a gregarious smile, but I could tell the King of Bloomin could not be taken lightly. He just said to my face that he had his own interests in mind. The idea of requiring further thanks made him laugh. Still, I said, I am happy to see that you trusted in us. Showing gratitude is always important. I didn't mean to keep banging on this point, but I wanted to bring it across. I truly wonder if you really are a demon lord sometimes, the king replied with a snicker. Then he recomposed himself and looked me in the eye. And I do understand that our Viscount Kazakh caused you quite a bit of trouble. I'm quite glad you were able to rescue your countrymen from him. Ah, Viscount Kazakh. It was mostly Molly Mile he'd caused trouble for, though. And if I had to guess, that Orthrus gang had been operating in the Forest of Jura well before I became Demon Lord. But it was a stain on the reputation of Bloomend, I suppose. Although it really all came down to the Viscount himself. He was just a patsy, really. A horrible man. It wasn't like he'd personally cracked the whip or anything, but a crime is a crime, as much as Kazakh apparently crowed about how the nobility can treat low-born monsters any way they want without penalty. Especially to go off scot-free was far too expecting to get off scot-free was far too selfish. Well, with everything fully settled now, I have no interest in dragging that case any further, I replied. I appreciate that. So, what will you be doing with him? As part of Bloomin's nobility, I couldn't prosecute him under my own rules, but no punishment at all was unacceptable. I didn't want to make this a huge incident, but whether or not I did anything depended on the King of Bloomin. He fortunately understood this. Kazakh no longer holds a noble title, he said, voice turning low and ominous. Given his ties with international criminal gangs, it's fair to say he's forgotten his duties as a nobleman. I would hardly abide the likes of him referring to himself as Bloomundian nobility. Thus, he has been stripped of his titles and exiled from our lands. The House of Kazakh is no more, and thus I consider the case to be closed. No problems there. It almost seemed too harsh a penalty, but then slave trading violates international law. Treating him with kid gloves could even make Bloomin's king look like a pushover. Thinking of it that way, this punishment felt almost merciful to me. Kazakh had been a noble his whole life. Finding another life for himself would doubtlessly pose difficulties. Without his name, fortune, or even a familiar homeland, I didn't envy the path this man had ahead of him. But if he could stay alive, maybe he could turn over a new leaf. The punishment fit the crime, certainly, and I had no objection to it. Very well. I am willing to accept that punishment. A relief to hear. Is it safe to say that our treaty remains in effect, then? I'd hope for nothing else. May we remain partners for years to come. We exchanged a firm handshake. The incident was behind us. Now it was on to the main subject. The king's face brightened as he immediately got down to business on his mind. Sir Rimuru, I heard the news from Fuse. He spoke of some grand operation you had in the planning stages. Apparently, he wanted to hear more about the outlook on the future I'd given Fuse. Well, that's something involving much more than just your kingdom and mine. I'm hoping we can assemble representatives from all nations involved for further discussions. I intend to travel to you to discuss. It in detail, but no need to be so secretive. Fuse gave me a short rundown, but it sounds like something that could very well affect our position in the world. I could hardly leave the matter to my bureaucracy. In that case, I could go into some detail. The official discussion was planned for another day, but now I gave the king my basic plans for turning Bloomend into a distribution hub for the world at large. But I see. So, basically, turning a country into a giant Amazon warehouse. Kind of, in a way. I just realized that,
Yep.
because I didn't have the window up on the main screen here, all they were seeing was a frozen image. Oh, no.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh.
I didn't even notice, too. I wasn't watching the stream.
That's
I was reading
okay.
along.
That's okay. Yeah, as you should. As you should. It's a good book.
Wait, so they didn't see us the whole time, or what
They
happened?
they could see us. It was just
Okay.
frozen.
Oh,
In time.
Yeah, it's just a perfect frozen moment in time. Anyway.
Good.
So yeah, so he's kind of like a big distribution hub. I wouldn't say, well, yeah, kind of like an Amazon.
distribution. What else? Well, I mean, what other better term can you come up with that?
We'll give more bathroom breaks, right? Yes. Yes,
I hope so.
Bloomend
Be
will
better.
give more bathroom breaks.
Good.
All right, so, my lord, this sounds like a proposal we should move every mountain to make a reality, doesn't it? I had given only a quick rundown, but the king had a different look about him by this point. The real him was now on the surface, revealing a man burning with ambition, and his queen, who hadn't spoken until now, was had just as much trouble hiding her excitement. It seemed this woman was equally as astute as her husband. No doubt my pitch was all she'd needed to accurately calculate how much profit was on the table. Bloomend's king wasn't their only leader I should watch out for. Here we had a king with a gambler's penchant for snap decisions, along with a calm, collected, and calculating queen. Their powers combined must have been what made this small kingdom so continuously influential. Of course, I cautioned, this only happens after the Founders Festival is a resounding success. It's still 3 days before it begins. Ha ha ha! I'm sure there is little to worry about. Why, it hasn't started yet, and just look how lively things are. And I can only imagine how many nobles worldwide are making their journey over here. I can only imagine, echoed the queen. But as you said, Sir Rimuru, there is no need for us to hurry matters. A plan like the one you proposed will require an agreement from all the nations involved. In the meantime, we will work with our own government to ensure a consensus on this matter. My lady is right. It was simply delightful to hear such a fine proposal from you, Sir Rimuru. Now, shall we be on our way? I hope the Tempest Founders Festival is a resounding success. The queen closed as she and her husband got to their feet. They had no intention of acting all pompous and wasting my time talking in pointless prose. They had what they came for, and now they were done with me. I liked them for that. It was much easier to deal with. Thank you, I replied. Please enjoy our nation to the fullest. We certainly intend to, the king shouted as they walked away, to which the queen added, Yes, I can hardly wait. The day after I spoke with Bloomend's royal couple, I was greeted by another big name, Gazel, the Dwarven King. Oh boy, here he goes.
Yeah, so.
Well, Rimuru, here I am, he said as he sat across from me with an audible whoomp. My first journey by carriage in far too long. I'm exhausted. Posing as always, to be sure, he was already reaching out for the tea and snacks on the table, like they were his God-given right. Well, there, don't take mine too, all right? I was a little slow on the trigger. In an instant, the last donut on the table was up and into his mouth. I had been looking forward to that. Who knew he had a sweet tooth to go with his tremendous drinking habit? There's just never any underestimating him. Ah, no need to sweat the details. As such trifles still bother you, you have much left to learn, hmm? Much left to learn? How? You're the one stealing my donuts. I stared at the self-serving Gazel, but he gave me no quarter, returning the gaze. And thanks to the chiefs raising a hue and cry, we had a whole caravan of carriages. The length of it was ridiculous. And it's all your fault, Rimuru. As he explained, in great detail, the journey here from Dworgen normally took a day on winged horse. Since this was an official state visit, however, he wasn't allowed to go with the Pegasus Knights. Oh yeah, and if you see the picture, he's actually in a suit. He actually had to wear a suit.
Oh yeah.
Ensemble.
You bastard!
Kinda
You
looks like
made me
Slayer.
wear a suit and tie.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
It's how I feel every
How
Sunday.
dare you?
It's how I feel
Yes.
every Sunday when
How
I have to
dare.
do anime church with
How
Moon.
dare you make me look great.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were about to do the Jim Carrey meme where he gets the water and he's like, oh, come on!
Oh, come on! Yeah.
Oh, come on!
Don't
Yeah.
do it. Don't
Talk
do
about
it.
Wal-
Don't do it. Don't do
No,
it.
no, no.
Not
I
on
was
the
gonna
camera.
say, like, if it was Homer, he would probably wring his neck.
Yeah.
How dare you, Gazo? That was my donut.
It wasn't just because of the security. It wasn't just because of the security concerns either. Gazel would be seeing nobility from around the world, and as king of the mighty nation of Dworgen, he needed to show he was a military power. This meant having to pack multiple changes of clothes and such, along with administrators and attendants to help dress him properly. It made his entourage a more than decently sized crowd. If you travel as a king, you need a royal amount of preparation. Having a paved highway to travel on was certainly a boon, but the past few days of travel were just murder on me. That must have been why Gazel kept skipping out on his kingdom to travel as light as possible. And come to think of it, so he had reported that the highway from Bloomend was jam-packed with carriages and the like, enough so that the watch needed to play traffic cops for a while, and all the inns along the way were booked solid, which was great in a way, but it also reminded me of the need for a larger-scale transport system. Cars in Japan these days, after all, break down very rarely, and if they do, you can call for roadside service and get it handled in no time flat. In this world, though, if you break a wagon axle or something, you're in trouble. Simply carting the vehicle out of the way of traffic is a painstaking ordeal. You also had horses to take care of, and overall the whole thing was rife with pitfalls. I deliberately planned for wide highways in anticipation of this, but it still didn't solve the problem. I was gathering info on these incidents so we could tackle them in the future, but judging by Gazel's tale, long-distance travel as a noble was an extremely arduous undertaking.
It had traffic lights now.
It seemed the traffic jam had mainly been caused by far more nobles deciding to participate than I'd planned for. I'll need to consider things like that more next time. It'd be nice if we could develop trains and make all of this a lot more comfortable, fast. But regardless, I didn't expect to see you here at all. I figured you'd send an envoy instead. It was true, I really hadn't, so I was honest with him, hoping he'd take the hint and stop griping at me. It didn't work. Pfft. You think I would do that when I show up? When I know you're up to something? When I know you're up to some kind of scheme again? I can't sleep at night until I see what it is with my own two eyes. And also, I have a question for you. What? So you fought against Hinata Sakaguchi. The whole drawl thing. That's a lie, isn't it? I figured he knew that, and he did. He was aware I'd fought her, and he didn't believe the official results one bit. By the looks of things, he assumed I beat her. Well, you could call it winning the battle and losing the war, but yeah, I won. I explained to Gazel how it had all worked out in the end, warning him to keep it under his hat for now. Unbelievable. That woman of all people. Frankly, she's stronger than I am. Her swordsmanship for one, but even in overall strength I'd lose. You really beat her? This was some real talk for Gazel. I guess I'd impressed him. As a hero king, Gazel would never get a chance to spar with Hinata, so he used his network of spies to analyze her strength instead. The conclusion he made from their findings, he'd be on the ropes. Hearing I'd won must have sincerely surprised him. Luck had a lot to do with it. I mean, she really was a lot stronger than Clayman, and he was a demon lord. I think the skills I'm blessed with had a lot to do with it. Let's be straight. If I didn't have Raphael, I'd have lost. You're goddamn right.
It's true. Entirely.
Yeah. Raphael's just in the back. Raphael's in his head, just like, louder for the slimes in the back.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Say that louder for all the synapses that didn't pick up on it. You dumb bastard.
You're the MVP. There. Happy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Happy?
All right. All right. Where was I at? Let's be straight. If I didn't have... There we go. And Raphael is a skill of mine, but he's also managing all my other skills. If he hadn't harnessed, sorry. If he hadn't harnessed some powers I wasn't even aware I had, there's no way I could have beaten Hinata. Ha! Luck is as important as strength luck is as important a strength as any other. I'm glad to see my old sparring partner succeeded. I hate to admit how inferior I am that readily. Well, what do you want me to say? With my own real powers, I can't even beat Hakuro yet. Ah, you're as strange to me as always, aren't you? Real or not, those skills are part and parcel of your battle strength, aren't they? He looked a bit exasperated, but I really meant it. Without Raphael, I think my best match for a sparring partner would be Gobta, actually. Not that I'd tell anyone. Well, whatever. So, he said, erasing his scowl and giving me a serious look. What are you up to this time? This was his way of switching to his main subject, apparently. I had no idea what it was. What do you mean? What do I mean? The Western Holy Church sent us a missive asking to open a channel for future negotiations. They used to classify us as a nose away from monsters. Why'd they overturn their doctrine like that? It was so sudden. I just know you have to be behind it. Ah, Gazel's shouting reminded me of my conversation with Hinata and her people. Yes, I had suggested that she could get King Gazel involved. The Dwarven Kingdom had retained its neutrality for 1,000 years. You could place boundless trust in them, and even the most orthodox adherents of the church couldn't seriously think dwarves were the same thing as monsters. Some maybe, but it had to be a tiny minority. That was my motivation behind the suggestion to Hinata, but I forgot to actually ask King Gazel for permission to do that. Or really, I didn't think I needed his approval. I wasn't expecting him to get this riled up over it. Best to play dumb for now. I thought Hinata explicitly said it was my idea. Oh? Well, I have to say it's the first time I've heard about this. But I think duking it out with Hinata has helped us develop a sort of friendship. That's how we reconciled things. Besides, and we agreed that we'll try to stay on good terms in the future. So maybe that got them in the spirit, huh? Like it inspired them to make some official overtures with you too? Huh? Gazel raised a doubtful eyebrow. It's times like these that I seriously wished I was in slime form. I thought I could feel a cold sweat running down my back, even though I don't actually sweat. Oh man, what a page turner. I like this.
I immediately have to go into this voice. Caution. The subject Gazel Dwargo is applying read thoughts to your surface mentality. This is being permitted due to the lack of perceived hostile or malice intent. Block this skill? Yes. No. Yes! Yes, 1,000 times yes! If it's something that important, then just tell me, Raphael.
I like that he would be in there as
It's a
like, who are you
VPN.
talking to, Rimuru?
It's the firewall.
It's in his head.
Yeah.
All
The
this has
firewall
happened-
detected it.
It's
Yeah.
it's literally in his head. It's not something that it's
And he
not
could
something Gazel hears.
Yeah.
Give me just a second. I'm pouring myself another glass of water.
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 Good.
Water.
I'm also
Good.
need some too.
Yeah, man.
E. E. Oh, excuse me.
Huh.
Oh. Huh.
Metal Gear.
Metal
Yeah.
Gear.
Blue hair. Metal
Oh,
Gear.
blue hair. Oh,
Colonel.
Colonel.
We
My
got a
horn has gone
problem.
flaccid.
No.
Woo.
Oh, no. Why is it every time
Squeeze
I
my
use
horn.
voice, I sound a
Huh.
little more like Snake?
Colonel, squeeze my horn. Snake, I am not squeezing
Sorry?
your horn. Nah, Colonel,
Come on,
squeeze it.
Colonel, it'll be funny.
Do
Aw,
it for the
man.
memes.
That feels so good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good.
Anyway. Metal Gear.
Hmm.
All right, anyway. Alright, anyway.
Yeah.
But that explained things. I had thought it was a little strange before, but Gazel can read people's minds, huh? No wonder I've always felt a bit odd around him, like he was probing my brain for answers. Between his accurate reading of my actions during battle and how he always seemed a step ahead of me in our conversations, it only made sense he was doing that. The great sage evolving into Raphael must have helped me recognize the read thought when Gazel pulled the trigger on it. It didn't seem to be active all the time, thank heavens, but who knows how much info he took from me just now. I gave Gazel a glance. He grinned back at me, a blue vein visible on his forehead. You saw my read thought, did you? Well, I applaud you for it, but if you blocked it, that must mean you're thinking something evil, I presume? No, I
No.
don't think so. You fool! I caught a glimpse of you there. It told me your thought. You thought it best to get me wrapped up in this. Crime never pays, I suppose. He then more or less forced me to confess exactly how my conversation with Hinata had gone, and then, I see, so the 7 Days clergy was behind their human first policy. Yeah, and I think Hinata's people are thinking about purging the church of anyone poisoned with the 7 Days thinking. Given how they're all dead, I'm sure she can sniff out their sympathizers well enough. I went over the internal dealings I had with the Western Holy Church of Lubelius carefully, leaving out Luminous's real identity. Gazel nodded and pondered for a minute. I imagine you are right, in which case it would be foolish to turn this down then. He had decided to accept Hinata's, or the church's, request. I thought you would say that. Enough from you, doing my diplomacy for me, without permission, but oh well. No need to be a stick in the mud during this festive occasion. You've given me only the best seats, I am sure. I might as well enjoy what you've got for me. After that fit he threw, he was willing to give up the subject for now. I figured he was happy enough with how things turned out, but I wasn't stupid enough to let him know that. I had word that Hinata and her paladins would be at the Tempest Founders Festival as well, so I figured it best for them to meet directly and work matters out. Gazel, no doubt, had some of his own advisors to deliberate with, too, so I promised him we'd set up discussions after the festival. He was soon on his way.
I love that, though. It's just, you're speaking for me on an important diplomatic decision? Ah, fuck it, I'm on vacation. I might as well have a good
Yes.
time.
I was
Do
like,
this later.
why are you speaking for me on diplomatic affairs. Man, this Mai Tai is amazing.
He's like it zooms out and he's in like a fucking Hawaiian shirt. He's like, oh, can I get some more of this?
I just imagine he's
I'm
like,
on vacation. We'll talk about it later.
Big
I'd imagine he's on a phone call, like, why are you talking on my behalf? And he's like, he zooms out, he's on the beach and
he's getting 2
being handed a drink. Yeah, exactly.
He's getting held like 2 margaritas. What? And he's holding like the phone with like his shoulder.
Those titties
Why
are gorgeous. Shit like
I like
that,
it.
you know?
I love it.
Reamer was like, what?
All right.
Nothing. You know what? You can do your thing. Whatever. I gotta go. Bye.
All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
It was now morning, 3 days since Diablo's return. Yome's band was here, and he picked the exact right moment to show up. We were actually holding a pre-opening feast this evening. The festival itself finally started up tomorrow. Before then, however, we were at the usual meeting hall. Yome, a few of his closer advisors, seated across from me. Hey, pal, it's been forever and a day, ain't it? Well, guess what? I'm royalty! Yep, exactly. Sounds like a fucking king, doesn't he? His clothing certainly had a few more bells and whistles on it. What up? It's your boy, King Yome!
Oh, God, this guy.
That reminds me, I saw a Kong Ming cosplayer. I was like, it's your boy, Kong Ming. If you haven't seen that anime, it's worth checking out at least once. I don't know how the dub is. The rapping and the sub is kind of I don't know, man.
Yo.
I'm not 100% on the rapping I'm not 100% rapping in the sub. I haven't seen the dub, so I can't attest to what that's like. But like, it's kind of hit or miss in the Japanese. Maybe that's because I'm not part of the Japanese rap scene. I don't know.
It's probably not to the standard of like Kaguya Lover's War's rapping.
Oh God.
No, I would say I kind of no. You're like Kaguya Love is War. No. I base it on the rap skill of like say Eminem or Lil Wayne.
Oh, I thought you meant compared to other anime.
No. I'm talking of actual hip hop artists.
Oof.
Yeah.
Deltron 3000.
Oof.
Yeah. Andre 3000. So, all right. Anyway.
Yep.
His clothing certainly had a few more bells and whistles on it, but the person inside hadn't changed. He was just as brazen as always, greeting me with a defiant grin. I smiled back. And clothes certainly make the king, don't they, Yome? Thanks for all your hard work. Ha! Hell, thank you. You're the one who took some grubby bum off the street and elevated him up to king, he said with a smile. So, I hope you're going to see this to the end, yeah? I'm all in on what you're aiming for, so don't leave me hanging halfway. Just as he promised, Yome had become a fine king for me, and with Diablo's behind-the-scenes work, he now had a firm grip on the throne. Farmus, a nation with a long, illustrious history, had fallen. In its place was born a new kingdom, with the champion Yome as its accepted leader. It was a nation reborn from the threat it once was. So Diablo thought fit to change its name to Farminus. To cement this, he also had Yome style himself as Yome Farminus. Next to him in the meeting hall were 2 Magic-born, Murin and Grusith. They were his constant bodyguards, and I had no doubt they'd keep Yome safe, although Murin wasn't really a bodyguard at all, of course. Lord Rimuru, let me reintroduce myself. I am Mur Farminus, wife of the king. It's good to see you again. Perhaps noticing my eyes on her, Murin lifted up her dress a little and curtsied. It was beautiful, enough to make your garden variety rich heiress blanch. You fit the role of queen like a puzzle piece, Murin. Yeah, doesn't she? Yome said, beaming with pride. She's educated and all, unlike me.
I love him.
I do have
what do you see in him?
I do have some experience in this. Shall we say, Clayman was such a stickler for etiquette and manners. There was no doubting that Clayman held himself well, or at least had a thing for noble trappings. He festooned his castle with ornate furniture and artwork and I'm sure he was just as fastidious with his own staff. Looks like that helped us out in the most surprising way with her. Yeah, well, it's an experience for all of us. I mean, ruling a nation's been hard for me, too. A little bit ago, I had to formally greet every species in the Forest of Jura, and it nearly killed me. I felt like some kind of sacred idol. Oh, I hear you. I have all these nobles requesting audiences with me, and some of those idiots are already forming factions and trying to start something. What a headache, I tell you. At least that old man Rosin, our magic expert, is handling all that pretty well. Rosin himself was not here. Things were still less than stable around their nation, and he was busy darting to and fro, attending to post-Civil War matters. I feared for a moment he'd betray us, but looking back, he was only under the effects of Diablo's temper spell, so no worries there. The retired Edmaris, meanwhile, had disguised his identity and was now serving as an advisor, making up for Yom's lack of experience and education in helping out in assorted areas of politics. As for Gruseth the Magicborn, so you're head of the Night Corps now. I sure am, Sir Rimuru. I turned the job down, but he never listens to me. Yep. Yom had all but forced Gruseth to take a role in government. He certainly had the muscle for it, and none of the remaining knights voiced any complaint. So the fledgling nation of Farminus wanted to appoint him head knight, hoping to keep such talent from straying off. He balked at first, enjoying the new freedom in his life, but after Murin begged him as well, he found it impossible to refuse. Was Gruseth gonna be all right doing that? I didn't bring it up. He didn't seem that reluctant. I still considered myself part of Lord Carrion's warrior alliance, but for now, I don't mind babysitting this idiot. Shut up! You're the idiot! Those two hadn't changed much, and the sight of Murin wincing at them took me back as well. It was a familiar act, but this time someone interrupted it. King Yom, Captain Gruseth, you're being terribly rude to the Demon Lord. The loud voice came from what looked like a grade school boy, a very handsome and intelligent one. Ah, Edgar! You're always so serious. And why not? He's far better put together than you. What more can we ask for in a crown prince? Captain Gruseth, this is not the time for joking. I am trying my best to serve as King Yom's attendant, making sure he becomes a good, just king. Edgar, son of the previous king, Edmaris, glowed red with embarrassment. He was still just 10 years old, but well put together was an understatement. By the looks of things, he was already used to being the butt of their jokes. Having to deal with such mean grown-ups at his age had to be difficult. At least Yom and Gruseth seemed to care for him as much as they carried on. I wouldn't have minded more of this pleasant small talk, but it had to end sometime. They were all tired from the voyage, and I'd have other VIPs coming from the pre-opening for the pre-opening tonight. I suggested we could continue this conversation with some drinks later, and Yom readily agreed. So, Yom, as thanks for keeping your promise, I have a present for you. Diablo? You mean this, Sir Rimuru? Before I could finish, Diablo realized what I meant and picked up a certificate we had prepared in advance, kindly providing it to me. I handed it to Yom. Hey, what's this, pal? Yom wasn't particularly great at the whole literacy thing either, so he quickly tossed it over to his assistant, Edgar. With a nod, the boy read it, and then his eyes bulged out of their sockets. You're forgiving the rest of the reparations? Yep, don't really need any now that Yom's king. They had already paid us 1,500 stellar gold coins in reparations. The total sum of 10,000 stellars was laughably astronomical, and now that our mission was accomplished, there was no need for that money anyway. Yom looked at the shocked child with a smile. Well, I don't really get what that means, but there you go, Edgar. He didn't know, but Edgar sure did. No doubt it'd be another gold star for Yom's reputation. Thus, I became known as a person, or a demon lord, I suppose, who was willing to bargain a bit when it came to reparations. My talks with Yom's group were over. They all left the meeting hall, dragging a still petrified Edgar with them.
It's like,
I love
Good.
that. That's where we're gonna stop. That's where we're gonna stop because it's almost 10:30 and it's about that time.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
got.
sleepy.
You are sleepy.
Yeah.
The
keep
nickel
texting
and
me.
dime store.
Nickel and dime store Soe.
Nickel and dime store Soe is sleepy. All
Crab Shack Soe.
He's being
Crab
called.
Shack Soe. There it is. Crab Shack
Mhm.
Soe. I like
Aye.
that. We should call him Crab Shack Soe. We shall now call him Crab Shack Soe.
Henceforth, you shall be
Henceforth.
known as
Oh my
Crab Sack Soe.
Crab Shack.
I'm actually
Soe.
surprised this thing
Crab
isn't like
Shack.
hasn't been taken off yet.
Okay.
By
to
the
be
way,
fair,
before you go, Soe, but
Yes.
my face feels a little warm. Is everything okay up here?
104 is where this chapter ends. We're at 43.
Damn, we shredded some pages,
Yeah,
man.
We shredded
Pretty
some
great.
pages, dude. We went almost happy Halloween. There, I knew somebody was gonna say it. Yo, it's your boy, Yo
It's your boy.
Farminus. It's your boy,
It's your
Yo
boy.
Farminus.
It just works so well.
Guys, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out with us. We are
Yeah, thank
going
you.
to actually record a we're gonna sit down and have a recording pretty soon of us actually recapping our time at AWA and talking about some of the panels and stuff. There was some great stuff with the panels. Also, patrons, you can look forward to, because we did actually record our voiceover panel, and I'll tell you really quick about this one. This was the crazy thing. This is how it all started, guys. So our first panel we thought was going to be a disaster because our voiceover panel got scheduled at 3:30 in the afternoon on Thursday. Like, it was so early that it wasn't even on the printed schedule. And we're like, fuck.
Oh boy.
Okay, it was on the digital schedule. It was on the app. There was over 120 people that had already RSVP'd. There were so many people that had already RSVP'd to this panel that they had to switch rooms with another panel to give us the bigger room. We ended up with almost 200 plus people in that
That's
panel.
awesome. Good job, guys.
For a panel at a 3:30 p.m. time on Thursday. So
I'm
like
so happy for you guys.
very
Good job.
first panel of the con. So imagine if we'd had it on like a day where traffic normally is. And we talked with people. They want like more voiceover stuff from us, not just because this was an audience participation voiceover panel. We did the opening scene for episode 8, where they had like the big conference. That was the scene. So we had the audience come up and do those. And at the end, at the very end, we did one. Like the four of us did one. So it was Moon, Rick, Calvin, and myself. And oh man, let me tell you, it was really, really fun doing racist Abiru as Goofy. Good old racist Abiru
Oh, good.
as
Oh,
Goofy.
Goofy.
Oh yeah.
Gabiru, you
It's-
are no longer allowed in the
Goofy
village.
Roo.
Oh, you know, it was all Donald's fault. Maybe if he just healed Sora, we'd have been able to avoid all this.
No, wait just one fucking second.
I'm sorry, dog. I can actually
there are a
understand
lot
you.
of
Could
jokes.
you repeat that?
There are a lot of jokes, and guys, we recorded the audio from all of this. We had a setup that we could plug into like their whole
I need to check that.
mic setup and everything. We're gonna put it up on Patreon. It's gonna be on Patreon, so that's where all the good bits are gonna be. We're gonna have that, and we met some incredible people, some great people. One of them has already joined our Discord. So if you see a really excited person in our Discord server,
Is that EC?
no, it's not EC. If you
EC
see
is
already
very
been
excited.
there.
if you see a really excited person named Henry or Cinnabunny or Cupcakes, that's them. That's them.
Okay.
They were just recently posting. They are the
Why
most recent post.
Honey now.
They posted today today at 7 p.m. apparently. That's a thing. Yeah.
Good stuff.
But yeah. So there we are.
Yeah. Good
But
shit.
happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you
Happy Halloween.
had a wonderful
Oh, yeah.
Spooktober. Remember, tomorrow's the best day, second best day of the year to buy candy. What's the first best
Yep.
day of the year? Well, it's only the first
Valentine's
best day
Day.
because it
Oh.
happens to come chronologically. So February 15th, day after Valentine's.
Yeah, dude. Bro, hell
Ooh.
yeah.
So second best
Oh
day
yeah, with
is
chocolate
too.
especially.
November 1st.
Hmm.
November 1st, right after Halloween. Clearance
Yep.
aisle.
I'm excited too. It's gonna be great.
You want candy?
Might
Get
be
it
tempted
there.
to go in town. Yeah,
Yep.
get some candy. Yeah.
Or alternatively,
Kanda.
alternatively, right now, there's a shit ton of candy on sale because it's all like marked down. If you have a store that's available right now.
Okay.
Safeway, Walmart. Yeah.
That having been said,
Guys, I
guys.
gotta go. I can't do that. I gotta go right now.
Oh no.
Go. Just
Oh,
Gotta scramble.
That having been
We
said,
gotta end the
guys.
stream like right now.
No, we don't. All right. Guys, y'all have a good one. We will see you
Yep.
again soon.
You too.
There's some stuff I have to talk to them about that you're not allowed to listen to just yet. We'll
Oh.
talk to you guys about
Sorry,
it soon.
Jones.
But we have some surprises in the works that I can't tell you about. But I hope you're looking forward to them. And we will see you
Yes, sir.
guys. Oh my God. Okay. I'll tell you guys one other thing. When we were doing the Abridging 101 panel and we were talking about Log Horizon, we were like, does anybody have any questions? Hand went up. I shit you not. Literally, live, in person, somebody asked us when the Carry On Wayward Son cover is going to be done. And I was like, I looked over at Calvin.
When
Calvin looked at me
Carrie?
and I was like, we're never getting away from this. And we're like, literally,
never.
in a few weeks. It'll be done in a few weeks. Oh yeah, food. But yeah, that's it for us, guys. We will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.